Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Welcome to Phil Rizzuto Day. It's the New York Yankees taking on the Chicago White Sox. Well, back here with Lindsey Nelson and Bill White. We're getting ready for the start of the ball game after a very, very emotional ceremony honoring the scooter, Phil Rizzuto. The lineup for the visiting Chicago White Sox, Rudy Law will lead off, play left field. He's just off the disabled list. Brian Little at second base, bats second. Harold Baines in right field, bats third. Greg Walker, the cleanup hitter, at first base. Carlton Fisk will be behind the plate. Oscar Gamble, the designated hitter, bats sixth. Tim Hewlett at third base, bats seventh. Ozzie Guillen, the shortstop, bats eighth. And Luis Salazar in center field, bats ninth. For the home team, the New York Yankees, they will lead off with Ricky Henderson in center field. Ken Griffey, the designated hitter, up in the number 2 spot. Don Mattingly was at a super series thus far with 6 for 10 and 5 RBIs, 3 home runs, bats third. Plays first base. Dave Winfield in the cleanup spot. In right field, Dan Pasqua, who had his first 3 RBI game in the major leagues yesterday, bats fifth. Ron Hassey will be behind the plate. He'll bat sixth. Willie Randolph bats seventh. At second base, Mike Pagliarulo bats eighth. He'll be at third base, and Bobby Meacham in the ninth spot in the batting order. He is at shortstop. On the mound for the New York Yankees, it will be Joe Cowley, the defensive alignment for the Yankees. Don Mattingly at first base, Willie Randolph at second, Bobby Meacham at short, Mike Pagliarulo at third, Dan Pasqua in left field, Ricky Henderson in center field, Dave Winfield in right, Ron Hassey will be behind the plate, and right now the crowd will come to its feet, and you see right in the bottom of your screen, Metropolitan Opera star Robert Merrill will sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and look his regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the hope of the brave.
Robert Merrill, and we'll get back with New York Yankee baseball right after this. For the Yankees, Don Mattingly at first, Willie Randolph at second, Bobby Meacham at short, Mike Pagliarulo at third, Dan Pasqua is out in left field, Ricky Henderson at center, and around in right field, Dave Winfield. Ron Hassey behind the plate, and on the mound, Joe Cowley, who comes into the ball game with a record of 9-4. He beat Cleveland, the first game of a doubleheader a few days ago at Cleveland, 8-5, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits, 2 earned runs. He walked 4, struck out 1, an earned run average of 3.88 for Cowley. And Joe looked around and said, big crowd out here today because I'm going for career victory number 20. Joe Cowley, who has a beat on things, will pitch to Rudy Law to lead it off. Bill White?
All right, Spencer. Rudy Law batting .251, 2 home runs, 22 runs batted in, slap hitter, and he takes the ball. Law will be followed by Brian Little, the second baseman, in the Hal Baines. Game 3 of this 4-game series. The White Sox won the opener 6-5 in the 11 innings. Yankees coming back yesterday and beating the Chicago White Sox 8-4. Well, it's 2 balls, no strikes on Law. That's out of play.
Bill was saying, telling Lindsey before, Joe has a good sense of humor. He sent the baseball over to Tom Seaver prior to the start of the ball game, and he wrote on it, to Tom, best of luck in Chicago. Joe Cowley.
2 balls and a strike on Rudy Law. stay fair. It's a foul ball into the right field corner. Law will have to come back. Winfield plays it anyway. Law got jammed, might have broken his bat, and did break his bat on this liner into the right field corner.
Just barely foul, although Winfield was kind of in our line of vision, and right here you really can't tell. But the first base umpire, John Shulock, right down on there.
Lindsey, I've seen you've been in the stadium.
Yeah,
obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Done a lot of games here.
Done a few at least.
Somebody got hurt?
Plate umpire.
Plate umpire got hurt on the plane, and Billy Martin's out to see about him.
Darrell Cousins. And I cannot figure out what he missed. May have gotten sick. Dean Monahan, that's the gentleman right on the left, the Yankee trainer. He looks a little woozy, doesn't he, folks?
I wouldn't think that Law threw his bat as he went to first base and hit Cousins. I wouldn't think that happens. Sometimes that happens. Mm-hmm. The player will run down and throw the bat. We understand, though, the bat was in front of home plate, and that did not happen. But something obviously is wrong with home plate umpire Darrell Cousins, but he'll stay in the ball game. Catchers have to be tough. Umpires have to be doubly tough.
Umpires get no sympathy. That's the difference.
No, that's true. That's right. There are the umpires.
Okay, you've got Darrell Cousins behind the plate, John Shulock at first base, Joe Brinkman at second, and Terry Cooney at third. And on the subject of umpires, we were out in Texas, and Lindsey, you suffered through heat, although for the Mets, there was a lot of ball games indoors at the Astrodome. Players complain about the heat, but the umpires, they've got to be out there all game long. That's a tough chore.
They don't get to come in at the end of the inning. That's right.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Law. And it's 3-2. One of Cowley's problems is going deep into the count. A lot of times he'll get 2 quick strikes, and they'll end up 3-2. That's a base hit. Cowley could not make the play. Neither could Meacham, and Rudy Law's on with a single. And he's a sort of catalyst for the White Sox, as is Ricky Henderson for the Yankees. Law with good speed, 17 stolen bases. He's only been caught 4 times.
He's going to have to see just how healthy he is right now. He seemed to be moving down the line pretty well. That ball getting by Pagliarulo and Meacham. He just come off the disabled list, Rudy Law, with a pulled hamstring. But he does have good speed.
Brian Little batting .229. And Cowley makes sure that Law stays close at first base. White Sox like to run. Russo believes in putting a lot of pressure on the pitcher, the catcher, and the shortstop, second baseman. And of course, it's not that hard to steal off Cowley. He takes a lot of time turning the ball loose. He'll kick that left leg up and keep it up quite a while. That's foul, bunted foul. A strike on Little.
Judge pitchers, Lindsey, and you've been around this game a long time, is hits per inning ratio. And Cowley's got an excellent ratio, only 73 hits in 95 innings. Yes. But he's walked 50 men, and that's the one negative aspect of his year.
Got him. First base. Good move by Cowley. Almost a balk move, but he picked off Rudy Law. And there's one away.
Quick toss to first. Cowley rifled it. Mattingly got the ball down low and just applied the tag to Law, diving back in. And there's one man away.
A big play by Cowley. He got some speed off the base paths. And the count on Little, no balls and a strike. Pagliarulo way in at third base. Milwaukee and Detroit tied 3-3 in the 4th inning. Baltimore and Cleveland tied 3-3 in the 5th. Toronto leading Texas 2-1 in the 4th. Blue Jays continue to play good baseball. 1 ball, one strike on Little. Two and one. Randolph now wants to talk to Cowley and probably say, hey, let's get ahead of these little guys. The big guys you worry about. Here's Billy Martin. Martin will not wait long with Cowley. Once he gets in trouble, he'll send Mambo Ket out there to kind of kick him a little bit. A lot of pitchers, Lindsey, that you have to kick. You can't pat him on the back, and Cowley's one of those. You've got to get him mad.
You have to learn how to treat each one. That's right.
Look at Billy. He's upset. 3 balls and a strike on a fellow with no home runs and 6 runs batted in. And he walked him. So Brian Little walks on a 3-1 pitch. And there's Martin. Another gray hair. Every walk is a gray hair.
I think that you'll agree that if a pitcher is going to have a long, successful career, the one thing he's got to develop is the ability to work ahead of the hitters. If he works consistently behind the hitters, he'll work somewhere else before long.
Ah, that's right. Here's Baines, and he's a toughie. Now, this is the fellow you got to worry about. Baines batting .295, 9 home runs, 63 runs batted in.
He's been hot on this trip, Bill. 10 for 23 since the White Sox left home.
Well, you'd like to pitch to a Baines with nobody on base. That's why you don't like to walk the nits and the nats, as they call them, the table setters. Baines normally gets off to a slow start. This year he got off to a little better start, then cooled off, and now he's coming back again. Excellent ball player, Al Baines. And he's got a base hit. See if Little will challenge Winfield. He is. Got him. Perfect throw, Winfield to Cowley. On the play, Baines goes to second.
You got to look before you leap and consider the opposition. And Brian Little did not. Watch this. Right field. Winfield comes in. Little will round second. Winfield had to slow up just a bit before coming to that ball, and the throw, I guess you'd have to call it perfection.
Another angle.
A beautiful throw by Winfield. And what I think even makes it even a better throw is that he did slow up a little bit and didn't have the kind of momentum that a lot of outfielders like to have coming in so they can throw with their whole body. Just a beautiful throw.
And already Billy Martin's out chewing out Joe Cowley. He was saved there by that fine throw to third by Dave Winfield. Now they've got Baines, who went to second base on the throw, in scoring position with 2 outs, and the batter will be Greg Walker.
It did not escape the attention of the manager that was the 3rd consecutive batter to get on base.
Right. Walker, a .275 hitter, 15 home runs, 63 runs batted in, and that's the ball. White Sox have 3 people who could end up with at least 100 runs batted in. Greg Walker is one of them, Hal Baines another one, and Carlton Fisk, who's due up next, the 3rd. Baines with 63 runs batted in, Walker with 63, and Fisk with 69. Count 2 balls, no strikes on Walker. There's Baines. Basically a low fastball hitter, Greg Walker. And Cowley pitching around him, a 3-0. Notice how most hitters will take their practice swings in the area they want the ball.
Yes.
And ball 4, Walker walks.
Well, Cowley, who had a rough second inning in Cleveland when he beat the Indians last week, he walked 3 batters, went to 3-2 on another. Right here, he went to 3-2 on Law, who singled. Then he picked Law off, 3-1 on Little. He walked him. Baines singled on a 2-1 pitch, and Walker walks on 4 straight. So first and second, 2 out, and the American League's leading home run hitter steps in.
Fisk batting .236, 28 home runs, 69 runs batted in. And quickly the Yankees get Bob Shirley up in their bullpen. A strike to Fisk. Dalton in the final year of his contract with the Chicago White Sox. There's Shirley. Fisk has said he'd like to play 5 more years. Strike 2. Well, he did just the opposite over the winter. He put on weight. Normally, as you get older, you take weight off and you try to get slimmer, but Fisk bulked up.
They say he stays at the ballpark after a game an hour or 2, works, just works on the weights, and it's really showing with the home runs.
0-2 on Fisk. Got him with a good breaking ball. Joe Cowley strikes out Carlton Fisk. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left on base. At the end of 1/2 inning of play, the White Sox nothing, the Yankees are coming up.
Checking out the defense for the visiting Chicago White Sox, Greg Walker at first base, Brian Little at second, Ozzie Guillen, the shortstop, the third baseman is Tim Hewlett, Rudy Law on left, Luis Salazar in center, and Harold Baines around and right, Carlton Fisk behind the plate and on the mound, and he received a big cheer as he came out of the dugout after the White Sox were retired. Tom Seaver shooting for a career victory at number 300. He has beaten the Yankees once this year here at the stadium, a 4-2 game in which he went 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, an earned run, walked 5, struck out 6. On the year, 11-8. And his most recent start, he beat the Red Sox by a score of 7-5. The Sox scored 3 runs in the 10th inning to win it. So going for number 300, a long way from that day in April in 1967, Lindsey Nelson.
Absolutely, and he went out early today. There's his family right there. There's Nancy in the center. His 2 daughters are there. They're taking pictures to memorialize this afternoon. Tom Seaver warmed up several times. It was almost like a rainy day out there because he couldn't judge when the ceremonies would end, and so he warmed up and stopped and warmed up and stopped and warmed up, and now he's ready to go.
And he will face Ricky Henderson, Ken Griffey, and Don Mattingly. With the Yankees to bat here in the bottom of the first, the White Sox fail to score in the top half. Bill?
Henderson batting at .353. He has 16 home runs and 46 runs batted in. He's still the number 1 hitter in the major leagues. Wade Boggs now at .349 and George Brett at .347. And it's a strike on Ricky Henderson. No score. We're in the bottom half of the first inning. That's high. Out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Henderson.
Lindsey Nelson, does this sound familiar? Tom Seaver's early years with the Mets and Seaver's 8 losses this year. The White Sox have scored 13 runs.
He went through a lot of those years, believe me. Some pitchers think that makes you a better pitcher. You have to be a better pitcher.
You better be.
1-2 on Henderson. Just got a piece of it. In and out of the glove of Fisk. Count remains 1-2.
When Seaver came to the major leagues, he was sinker slider, and then he became a power pitcher. He became a strikeout pitcher. Now in his later years, he's gone back to a finesse pitcher. He's got a breaking pitch now. I think it's the best breaking pitch he ever had.
And he's got a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Ricky Henderson. Just missed the inside corner. 2-2 on Henderson. Popped up. Greg Walker along with Fisk. The first baseman takes charge. That's Walker in foul territory. One away.
That's the easier play for the first baseman, and Fisk kept coming down the line and finally flipped over to Walker, who made the easy play for the first out.
And here's Ken Griffey. He batted quite often against Seaver in the National League, Lindsey.
He did. He's very familiar with him.
Griffey batting .264, 6 home runs, 43 runs batted in. Griffey once part of the so-called Big Red Machine. Strike one.
You were saying, Lindsey, about when Seaver came up. Did he give you he didn't give you the indication that he could be that kind of power pitcher, did he?
Oh, no, not at the start at all. I used to interview him at the end of each season. I'd talk about his being a strikeout pitcher, and he'd say, but I'm not a strikeout pitcher.
That's a good pitch on the outside edge. No balls, 2 strikes.
So finally, one year, he had struck out 289 batters. And I said to him, are you a strikeout pitcher yet? And he said, yes, I'm a strikeout pitcher.
Got him. High Hartland. And he is a strikeout pitcher as Griffey goes down on strike for the second out.
You see this with so many pitchers right here. He may not be able to do it consistently, but let me tell you, that was a power-packed fastball right there, way by Griffey, who was way late on it, Lindsey.
Well, when you're 22 years old, you can do it all afternoon. When you're 40 years old, you do it now and again.
That's Seaver's 90th strikeout this year. He's pitching in his 165th inning. Don Mattingly, batting at .314, 15 home runs, leads the American League in runs batted in with 85. Ball. See how Seaver pitches Mattingly. He might want to keep that ball up around the letters. Changeup. 2-0. Always great to see a battle between a good hitter and a good pitcher, see how they work on each other. One of the things I remember about Seaver is he could throw the ball where he wanted to throw it.
Exactly.
Even when he was a youngster.
Location was a great thing for him from the start.
3 balls and a strike on Mattingly. And Mattingly wants to be quicker on that pitch inside. It's full count on Mattingly with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the first. A scoreless ball game. Tom Seaver going for his 300th career win. Don Mattingly trying to get his 128th base hit this at-bat. Out of play. 3-2. Now the Mets lead the Cubs 3-0. That ball game in the 4th inning. Pittsburgh 4, Montreal 2 in the 4th, and Atlanta leading the Giants 2-1 in the 3rd. Right here, we're in the bottom of the 1st, no score. 3-2 on Mattingly with 2 outs. Base hit Mattingly. Salazar will play it back in. Tell that Mattingly's keyed up just a little bit.
Well, Lindsey, here in New York, back before the Mets, and of course you remember a fellow named Don Mueller and the way he used to hit. And there have been a lot of comparisons to Mattingly, Stroke, and Mueller. And Drake the Magician, that's right.
Mueller now is just a singles hitter.
Yeah, that's the one difference.
Mattingly drives the ball pretty well. Mueller choked the bat up 4 or 5 inches and just made contact. Here's Winfield. He's batting .286, 16 home runs, 66 runs batted in. I would compare Mattingly at this stage more with a Stan Musial.
That's a pretty good comparison.
Yeah, he's not a Musial, but he swings quite similarly. They both have the rounded shoulders, and they both have excellent bat movement. They use the whole field. 1-0 on Winfield, and it's 2-0. Of course, Stan was not a power hitter when he first came up.
Sure, he was not.
ball game, we sat down in the box next to the Yankee dugout and had a long talk with an old friend of yours, Harry Walker.
Oh, my. My.
That came up just before the game to pay his respects to Ruzzuto and also to see Tom Seaver.
In 1945, I broadcast Army baseball in Linz, Austria, and Harry Walker was the manager.
Harry the Hat. Of course, when you talk about the 1946 World Series?
Yes.
Harry's the guy who got the base hit that Sportiness slaughtered. 2-1 on Winfield, and now it's 3-1.
At my home, my phone rang last year, and I picked it up, and the caller didn't identify himself, and I said, "Who is this?" He says, "This is your manager from Linz." And I said, "Who?" He said, "Harry Walker." "How many managers did you have in Linz?"
3 balls and a strike on Winfield with Mattingly at first and 2 outs in the bottom of the first here at the stadium. That's foul off third base. 3-2, so Mattingly will be moving with the pitch. The one thing that Don does not do well is run. And of course he had the knee problem over the winter. That slowed him down a little bit more. But he does everything else. Fields his position, hits with power, knows the game. 3-2 on Dave Winfield. Walker playing behind Mattingly at first base. Center field. The Salazar's out there. And the side is retired. The Yankees in the first. No runs, a base hit, and they leave a man. At the end of 1, the Yankees nothing, the White Sox nothing. Well, a big crowd on hand this afternoon as the Yankees and the White Sox play the 3rd game of this 4-game series. And there's the commissioner of baseball, Peter Ueberroth. He was asked to stand, and the fans saluted him. Ueberroth, of course, would like for baseball to continue, Lindsey Nelson, and he has come up with some suggestions.
Well, we'd all like for baseball to continue. You can bet on that.
By the way, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and WPIX and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game or any segment without the express written consent of the New York Yankees is prohibited. Well, we're playing the 2nd inning here of a scoreless ball game, and the White Sox will send up Oscar Gamble, Tim Hewlett, and then Ozzie Guillen against Joe Cowley. Cowley worked out of a problem in the 1st inning when he gave up a leadoff single to Law, then picked him off first base, walked Brian Little, gave up a single to right field to Hal Baines. Little tried to go to 3rd. Winfield threw him out. Then he walked Greg Walker and came up with a big curveball to strike out Carlton Fisk for the 3rd out. So here's Gamble batting an even 200 with 4 home runs and 20 runs batted in. Gamble hit his 4th home run yesterday in the 8th inning. And he hit it deep into the right field bleachers. Cowley gets ahead, no balls and a strike. Wide, 1-1. Two balls and a strike on Gamble. Cleveland's taken a 4-3 lead over Baltimore in the 6th inning now. Indians played the Yankees tough in Cleveland. 3 balls and a strike on Gamble.
And every one of the balls has been outside. Cowley pitching away from Oscar Gamble.
And ball 4, Cowley walks Gamble. That's the 3rd walk given up by Cowley, and we're just in the 2nd inning. And that'll bring up Tim Hewlett, the 3rd baseman. He's hitting .271, 3 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Joe Nossick, the first base coach, talking to Gamble. Here's the scooter. Phil Rizzuto with his wife Cora and the former president of the United States, the Honorable Richard Nixon. Strike one on Hewlett. Third base has been a problem for the White Sox. That's inside. They've tried Vance Law over there. They've had Jerry Dubzinski there. Eric Soderholm played there for a while. I think after Bill Melton played there, they just kept shuffling people around. Down the right side, looks like it'll slice out of play, out of reach of Winfield. A 1-2 on Hewlett.
Lindsey Nelson knows from teams that had third base problems, right?
I tell you, the Mets started with Don Zimmer and then followed him with everybody else.
Just couldn't find the right man.
1-2. A little bit high, 2-2 on Hewlett. He's 0-1 lifetime against the Chicago White Sox. That was a game, and I believe that was a game that Yogi Berra's last game when Cowley walked the winning run in Chicago. Into center field, Henderson got a late start, and he will not get there, and it's a base hit. So the White Sox have runners at first and second as Henderson got just a bit of a late start. Now with those stands full up top, it's hard to see the ball coming up.
And Henderson was a little slow in going for it. So first and second, nobody got. Going back to that game that Cowley did lose to the White Sox, he pitched a strong ball game. Watch it again. You see Henderson slow in getting after it. And by the time he does move forward, it drops in, and Gamble alertly halfway, and then realized he could make it to second base. In that game, Cowley walked Ozzie Guillen with the bases loaded in the ninth inning to lose it.
Here's Guillen again. Meacham, and he'll turn two. Bobby Meacham, a 6-3 double play, and once again, Joe Cowley has gotten some help. Moving to third base is Gamble.
Well, the ball smacked by Guillen. Looks like it might go through, but Meacham comes over, cuts it off, makes the play himself, and throws on to Mattingly to double up Guillen with Gamble moving to third. Play by Meacham. He picked it up nicely and did what he had to do, doing it all by himself.
Oh, Gamble over third base with 2 outs now, and here's Luis Salazar, the center fielder. He's hitting .211, 6 home runs, 28 runs batted in. He takes a strike. Salazar, an excellent butter. Might try to surprise here, and Cowley will, of course, will have to be alert at third. A good breaking ball. No balls, 2 strikes on Salazar. No score, playing the top of the second. Called strike 3. Got him with 3 breaking balls. No runs, a hit, and a man left. After 1.5, Yankees nothing, White Sox nothing. Let's pause for station identification.
Tickets for all Yankee home games on sale at the Stadium Advance ticket window, 7 days a week for 9 to 5, and at all Tri-State Ticket World outlets. Call Ticket World toll free 1-800-682-8080. Dan Pasqua, his first 3 RBI day in the major leagues yesterday. A home run and a single to lead it off against Tom Seaver. Bill?
Pasqua batting .215, and Seaver shows him a big slow curve. He has 4 home runs, 10 runs batted in. Seaver's 2-0 lifetime against the Yankees. balls, no strikes on Pasqua.
Pasqua's last game in Cleveland. He didn't play the final game. He hit the ball hard 3 straight times, and looks like he's beginning to turn it around.
2-1. Pasqua will be followed by Ron Hassey, then Willie Randolph. Center field. The center fielder Salazar had been a bit in right center, but he's there for the first out. The White Sox have made good use of the people they picked up from San Diego in the Lamar Hoyt trade. Salazar, one of them. Ozzie Guillen, the shortstop, one. And the losing pitcher yesterday, Bill Long, also coming over in that deal.
Made some good use of Mr. Hoyt. He's really having himself some kind of a season.
Well, Russo said he'd make the same deal again. He's happy with his people. Obviously, San Diego happy with Hoyt. But look at Ron Hassey. Strike one on Hassey. Hassey batting .268, 6 home runs, 19 runs batted in. Filling in for the most part for Butch Weiniger. Weiniger just off the 15-day disabled list with a bad back. And a strike on Hassey.
Question for both of you. You were a teammate of Bob Gibson's. You saw Seaver pitch, and throw Sandy Koufax in there. The 3 of them, and I think maybe it's a sign of greatness of any pitcher.
Left field, and almost misjudging the ball was Rudy Law, but he recovers, and there are 2 outs.
Okay, look, we're going to take a look at Tom Seaver pitching early, and this is what I was bringing up, Lindsey Nelson. This could be 15 years ago. It could be today. It's that same motion. Looks exactly the same. Same with the Gibsons and the same with the Koufaxes.
Exactly what he's managed to do over the years. Keep that same compact delivery.
Willie Randolph. Guillen at short has a nice hop as he charges the ball, and that'll retire the side. 3 up and 3 down for the Yankees. We've played 2. Yankees nothing, White Sox nothing.
Imagine one man hitting better than .340, driving in more than 100 runs, getting more than 200 hits, 20 home runs, and 40 doubles, all in a single season. Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, and Roger Maris never did it, but Don Mattingly did, and last year became only the 3rd person in Yankee history to do it. Oh, you may have heard of the other 2 guys, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. Yankee baseball. Catch it on Channel 11.
The Tom Seaver family looking on Lindsey Nelson.
As Charlie Seaver in the golf hat, he is a golfer, of course, of some note, was a Walker Cupper. And before Tom's first Major League game, he sent him a wire, said, "Good luck, we are with you. It's the start of a long career." Was it ever? This time, Charlie came all the way from California to deliver his own greetings in person.
Not only a pretty good golfer, but a pretty good predictor, as he certainly has had a long career. Going for number 300 this afternoon, the Yankees have only 1 base hit off Seaver through 2. The White Sox with 3 off Joe Cowley. And we start the 3rd inning and back to the top of the White Sox batting order with Rudy Law. Bill?
All right, Spencer. Law led off the first inning with a single, and then Cowley picked him off. That pitch is low, ball 1. Boston playing at Kansas City, no score there in the 2nd inning. Later on, Minnesota at California, and Seattle playing out in Oakland. A ball and a strike on Law. Yankees still in 2nd place, 9.5 behind Toronto, and a half game ahead of the Tigers. Boston in the 4th place, a dozen games back. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Rudy Law.
In contrast to the 1st inning, where Cowley was getting behind just about everybody, in the 2nd inning, he did walk Gamble on a 3-1 pitch, but after that, a little bit different.
Back up the middle, base hit. Cowley tried to flag it down barehanded and could not, and might have hurt his hand. Rudy Law now 2 for 2.
Out, but let's watch it again. Let's see if it does tick off him. Might have just grazed his pinky, huh, Bill?
I believe so. Home plate umpire Darrell Cousins went out to find out if Cowley was okay, and he doesn't want to throw, so he must be all right. Here's Brian Little. He walked in the first inning, and after Law was picked off, Bain singled. Little tried to go to third, and Winfield threw him out.
Better be careful down there.
I think if Rudy Law allows Cowley to pick him off again, he don't have to keep going through the dugout and on up into the clubhouse, Lindsey.
I think you're right.
Because I'm sure LaRusse would be very, very much unhappy with him. See the scores. Pitch out, and they're going to have him. Well, they guessed right.
Law, who's stolen 17 bases, just back off the disabled list. The Yankees call the pitch out at the right time. The throw's a little bit high. There you see Meacham applying it on the kneecap of Rudy Law as he came sliding in. So it has not been a good base running day for Mr. Law.
And the count, 1 ball, no strikes on Little. Good play by Hasse and the Yankees calling the pitch out. Now it's 1-1 as they guessed properly and correctly. Well, Cowley keeps wiggling out of trouble here. Dave Winfield on the edge of the warning track. Now he'll come in for out number 2. We mentioned Little no home runs this year and just 6 runs batted in. Might be about as far as he can hit the ball. Here's Baines. He can hit it out of here. Baines single to right field in the first. He's now batting at 296. Having an excellent road trip. Batting over 430. Ball 1. Baltimore and Cleveland now tied 4-4 in the 7th inning. Texas has taken a 4-3 lead over Toronto in the 7th. 2-0 on Baines.
Dave Steve pitching in that one for Toronto.
Loop, nobody. Yes, Meacham will get to the ball. Bobby Meacham, fine running, sliding catch. And that'll retire the side. No runs to base hit, nobody left. After 2.5 innings of play, Yankees nothing and the White Sox nothing.
Go to the bottom of the 3rd. Mike Pagliarulo stumbled a bit as this pop fly went out off the bat of Harold Baines, and then Bobby Meacham had to do it all by himself, and he made a fine running, one-handed, off-balance catch to retire the side for the White Sox. We move now to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Spencer Ross along with Bill White and our guest commentator. Happy to have Lindsey Nelson along with us, Mike Pagliarulo, to lead it off for the Yankees against Tom Seaver.
And Pags batting .233 with 10 home runs and 37 runs batted in. And it's strike 1.
Excuse me, Bill. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Seaver talked to the irony of coming to New York to go for number 300. And then a little bit of irony. A fellow pitching for the Mets today could be the next 300 game winner. A fellow named Dwight Gooden. The young and the old.
Popped up left side. That'll be out of play. No chance for Hewlett. It's no balls, 2 strikes on Pagliarulo. There's Hewlett.
And Gooden's working out a shutout this afternoon against the Cubs.
He might get there before anybody.
You mean quicker to 300?
Yeah. 0-2 on Pags. That'll be out of play. No chance for Hewlett or Carlton Fisk. Reds leading the Dodgers 3-0 in the 5th inning. Phillies playing the Cardinals in St. Louis. No score there. They're in the 4th. And right here, we're in the bottom of the 3rd of a scoreless game. Yankees trying to keep Tom Seaver from winning his 300th at their expense. Oh, 2 on Ruzzuto. Through the right side, base hit. So Pags got an 0-2 fastball and drilled it through the right side. Yankees second hit off Seaver.
Lindsey Nelson, all the years you've seen Tom Seaver pitch, how many times have you seen a base hit off him on an 0-2 count?
Very few. Very few.
Now here's Meacham. Meacham batting .231, no home runs, 32 runs batted in.
I wasn't expecting you to give me the number, but that's something you very rarely see.
Quite true.
Well, the Cubs have gotten on the board. Mets now lead 3-1 in the 5th inning. Meacham takes the ball. It's awfully close over in the National League East. The Cardinals lead by a game and a half over the Mets, 4.5 over Montreal, and Buck Rogers has done an excellent job with the Montreal Expos.
I think that surprised everybody.
What a surprise, Gene Mock with the California Angels.
Yes, yes.
And the deal that they made with Pittsburgh should not hurt the Angels at all. Might hurt the pocketbooks a little bit, but Gene Autry got a lot of money. 2 balls, no strikes on Meacham.
Pick up people like Candelaria and Holland and Moore. It's all swoop, boy. It's got to help your club.
Two and one. Got a piece of it. Was held by Fisk. Yankees trying to pick up a run. They would like to get Ruzzuto in scoring position against Seaver. And Meacham playing with a badly sprained wrist. Hasn't been swinging the bat that well. Now they let him swing it, and he fouls it back. 2-2. Yankees and the White Sox. 0-0 playing the bottom of the 3rd. A full house here at the stadium. Phil Rizzuto Day. And also Tom Seaver trying for his 300. Billy Martin flashing signs for Gene Michael. Runners going. Lifted to center field. Salazar. 1 away. And Pags goes back to first base. They had to hit a run on 2-2, and Meacham lofted one to center. Boston's now taking a 2-0 lead over Kansas City. They're in the 3rd inning. Royals have moved within 3 of California, and they did it because of a couple of guys. First of all, George Brett has been named American League Player of the Month, and Brett Saberhagen has been named American League Pitcher of the Month.
What a season he's having. We've talked about it often. Lindsey, Gooden's getting all the publicity, so to speak. You don't hear that much about Saberhagen. Fine young pitcher.
Yes, he is.
Ricky Henderson fouled upper deck right side. Saberhagen's won a dozen games for Kansas City.
It's another young guy who is not a power pitcher, but who knows? Like Mr. Seaver, Lindsey.
Absolutely, they do change.
Strike 2 on Henderson. Ricky fouled to the first baseman, Greg Walker, in the 1st inning. Still batting at .352. That's tops in the major leagues. He has 16 home runs, 46 runs batted in. In addition to that, he's stolen 49 bases. He's been caught only 4 times. Out of play down the right side. Still 0-2 on Henderson.
None at all.
Kerr fouled back. He does two things. Number one, he keeps himself in excellent shape. And number two, he throws strikes. Didn't go out there and throw 150, 160 pitches a ball game. And he wasn't too bad a hitter when they allowed the pitchers to hit.
He's a good athlete.
Good athlete. 0-2 on Henderson. One out, one on, no score, third inning. One ball, two strikes on Henderson.
Seaver, of course, has had ups and downs in his career, as anybody would have who's been around a long time. He says the low point was 1982 at Cincinnati when he hurt his arm. Won 5 and lost 13 and didn't know where he was going from there.
1-2. Has only one play, and he'll make it to first base as Baggs goes on to second. So Henderson bounces out 4-3. Mike Palliarullo moving down to second base with 2 outs. And here's the play again.
Good play by Little, who gets over to take the hit away from Henderson. Knows he has only one play. That's the first base. With Palliarullo advancing to second. So 2 outs. It'll bring up Ken Griffey. With all the highlights in Seaver's career, there's one semi-highlight that sticks out because it didn't take place. It was the near-perfect game against the Cubs, Lindsey Nelson.
He calls it his imperfect game.
Yeah.
A one-hitter, Jimmy Qualls.
Who?
That's Jimmy Qualls.
Ken Griffey has a base hit. Hayes has a good arm. Palliarullo sticks in behind Fisk, and the Yankees lead 1-0. Ken Griffey jumped on the first pitch from Seaver, single to the right side. Baines made it close at home.
We'll watch it again. As Bill said, Baines has a good arm, but with 2 men out, Palliarullo is off and running. And watch this head first slide as Baines' throw comes in. It's up too high. If it's on the money, perhaps it could have been a play at the plate. But the throw up too high, and Palliarullo with a real good head-first slide, and the Yankees have taken a 1-0 lead. No chance for Fisk here as he has to go high to get it.
So Ken Griffey has just driven in his 44th run, giving the Yankees a 1-0 lead in the third inning, and the batter now is Don Mattingly. Mattingly got the Yankees' first hit off Seaver, single to center field with 2 out in the first inning. Little here with the backhand flip to Guillen, and that'll retire the side. Yankees pick up a run on 2 hits, and they leave a man on base. On the Dodge scoreboard, the score at the end of 3. Yankees 1, White Sox 0. We'd like to remind all fans planning on attending the Yankee-Red Sox game on Saturday, August 17th, that the start time has been changed from 8 p.m. to 2 o'clock. It'll be an afternoon game at 2 o'clock. That's the Yankees against the Red Sox Saturday afternoon, August 17th. The game will start at 2 o'clock, not at 8 as originally scheduled. Once again, we pan this big crowd here. It'll be over 55,000 playing the Thing tribute to Phil Rizzuto, and also watching Tom Seaver try for his 300th, as they would like to be a part of that event. And Greg Walker leading off against Joe Cowley. Strike 1. Cowley walked Walker in the first inning. Joe has been wild. He has walked 3 through the first 3 innings. He has given up 4 base hits. But the Yankees have helped him with a double play. Have helped him with a strong throw by Dave Winfield. And a fine catch by Bobby Meacham. It's 1 ball, 1 strike on Walker. Base hit. Henderson will cut it off, and he'll overthrow Randolph, and Mattingly will back up. People say, well, what's the first baseman for? That's what he's for.
Exactly.
Walker singles into left center field. A good play by Henderson holding him to a single. As we watch it again, Walker getting around late on a looked like a hard slider down, but he likes the pitch down. Ball got away from Henderson over Randolph's head, but Mattingly right there backing up. Here's Carlton Fisk. He struck out on a great curveball in the first inning. This Walker will not steal. Nothing Yankees playing the top half of the fourth inning. The Yankees run on 3 hits. The White Sox no runs on 5. Neither team has made an error in the ball game.
There's a funny kind of pressure. There's a funny kind of air here at Yankee Stadium today. They're the folks who are rooting for the Yankees, all excited about Phil Rizzuto. There are a few fans out here with Met caps on. They're rooting for Tom Seaver. There's an interesting kind of tension.
And a strike on Fisk, 0-1. Well, you mentioned Tom got an excellent hand as he went onto the mound in the bottom of the first inning. He also got a hand when he went out to warm up while the Ruzzuto ceremonies were going on. 2 strikes on Carlton Fisk.
I think he expected to get that hand, and I think he would have been disappointed if he had not received it, because he remembered when he came here to Yankee Stadium for the All-Star game in 1977 after having been traded to Cincinnati. He got a great ovation from the fans here.
Greatness is always appreciated, and truly the greatest pitcher the New York Mets have ever had, and a future Hall of Famer, no doubt.
0-2 on Fisk. Pitch out, but Walker's not going. I don't think... Let me see how many stolen bases Walker has. That might have been a wasted pitch, because Walker obviously doesn't have good speed. But you say he's got 5 stolen bases? He's got... been caught twice. Inside, 1 ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Fisk. Here's Tom Seaver. In front of Seaver is the White Sox manager, Tony La Russa, right there. He's having fun. White Sox 6.5 behind California in the West. They're in 4th place over there. 2 games over. They have won 51, lost 49.
Talk about the popularity of Tom Seaver. Now look back. This is 1969. That's the way Lindsey Nelson would say. 1969, right?
Exactly.
2-2 on Fisk. Popped up left side. Meacham with the glasses down. 1 down.
Was that your greatest thrill as a broadcaster that entire season, Lindsey?
Well, not so much the entire season, because they didn't make their move until August, so it was a rather short time for the run. But my greatest thrill was the final game of the World Series, the 5th and final game, because I suddenly realized that the New York Mets, who had been jokes for 7 years, were right before my very eyes becoming champions of the world. Seaver, by the way, says that was his greatest thrill.
I said that to a colleague of yours, Bob Murphy, that to appreciate what you had to go through for those early years, come to work every day, it had to be tough.
We had to try to explain some things on the field were inexplicable.
Yeah, but you had Stingley.
We did.
Help you explain.
That was the greatest help in the world, believe me.
1 ball, no strikes on Gamble. Gamble walked in the second. 1 of 3 walks given up by Cowley. Yankees leading 1-0 in the 4th. And Cowley going at Walker.
Stengel never called Tom anything but Seavers. We had Roy Seavers in the league, of course, and that's close enough to Casey. If you're Seavers, you'll be Seavers, that's all.
gamble.
Joe Cowley still concerned about Greg Walker.
You better worry about Gamble.
Gamble's home run yesterday was the 200th of his major league career.
Bob Gibson's very seldom through the first base to try to pick off the runner. First of all, he didn't want anybody to get there. And if you got there too often, you got there by way of being hit by the pitch. So I would say, why don't you watch a guy at first base? Well, he says, that guy can't hurt the guy up there with the lumber. He's the guy who can hurt. First, I got to scare him, then I got to get him out. 1-1 on Gamble. And Hasse gets popped on a mask again. 1-2.
That's the second time this inning. I think it's kind of interesting when you mentioned Gibson. As we watch this again, boom, right off the mask. Things haven't been going too well in Atlanta with the pitching staff since your old buddies left that town. Bill?
No, they were upset with Gibson's attitude toward winning. He wanted to win. He wanted to win every ball game, and sometimes you say, well, maybe I'll lose this one. Or you have an excuse, and Bob didn't like it. He didn't take excuses. I think one of the greatest feats that, I wouldn't say greatest feat, but Bob Gibson, after being hit by line drive off the bat of Clemente, breaking a leg, continued that inning.
Remember that.
1-2 on Gamble. Wide, 2-2. Walker back on a snap throw from Hasse. Hasse does that very well. 2-2 on Gamble. 1 out, 1 on. Yankees leading 1-0 as we watch Hasse again from his knees. Oh my, just missed. 3-2.
Cowley didn't think so. Back to the early part of this game, Joe is falling behind the hitters. He has not had that problem in the last couple of innings. But right here, he is now 3-2.
That ball's out. Yep, outside. Hasse tried to sneak it over the inside corner, but it went around the plate. Now it's 3-2 and 1 out. Let's see what Ruzzuto does with Walker here. Yankees have a 1-0 lead. And he's going. Out of play. Off to our left. Cowley will do it again with Gamble with the count 3-2 and 1 out. Runner going. And that's a base. No, it's foul. Slice foul. It's like a base hit, but it's slice foul down the left side. Gamble hits the ball that way. He can run a long time because they swing around toward right field for him. Basically a pull hitter.
Well, he went with the pitch that time and very nearly came close with Walker running on that to tying the ball game up. Walker was down at second by the time that ball bounced, and a good opportunity by the time Pascal came over that Walker could have come around to score.
But still 3-2 on Gamble. Walker put on the brakes and hustled back to first base on that little popper to Randolph, and there are 2 outs.
Sounded like Gamble broke the bat on it. Walker was caught in between. Big stroke, but not much on it. And there's Walker. You see him out of the corner of the screen when Randolph grabs it. They're now 2 men away as Walker retreats. Well, let's see right now if Cowley was going to pay a lot of attention to Walker. It was not a big stolen base threat, but he can run a little bit. We'll concentrate instead on the batter, Tim Hewlett.
Well, he's going for Hewlett and going for Walker instead of Hewlett. Hewlett singled to center field in the second inning. So he's 1 for 1. Yankees have a 1-0 lead. Oh, 1 strike.
Tough inning for Ron Hasse. It's one of those looks like, what am I doing here? This is dangerous back here. Whoops, third time off the mask in this inning.
He's got to get that glove a little higher, hide behind it, blink his eyes or something. As he doesn't use that little throat protector that most catchers have been using. He does have a little bar underneath which helps protect his throat.
He might reconsider.
He's been getting popped on that mask quite often lately. Curve missing, 1 ball, 1 strike on Hewlett. Yankees got their run in the bottom of the third. Cowley led off with a single. Meacham fly to center. Henderson bounced to second. Frags going to second. Ken Griffey single through the right side for the Yankee run. Atlanta 2, San Francisco 1 in the 5th. Pittsburgh leading Montreal 4-3 in the 6th. And right here, the Yankees leading the Chicago White Sox 1-0 in the top of the 4th. 1-2 on Hewlett. Randolph out on the grass at second. That'll retire the side. And no runs, a base hit, the man left on base. We're going to the bottom of the 4th. Yankees lead Chicago 1-0.
Bottom of the 4th inning here at the stadium. Yankees 1 run on 3 hits off Tom Seaver. The White Sox 0-5-0. Spencer Ross, Bill White, Lindsey Nelson on Phil Rizzuto Day. Scooters, number retired, plaque to be installed in the Monument Park section. Some wonderful gifts for a wonderful man and a tribute of love on a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon in the month of August for Phil Rizzuto. Dave Winfield to lead it off for the Yankees. He flied to center in the first inning. Yankees with a 1-0 lead. And Seaver, despite the fact he's behind in this ball game, Lindsey Nelson, he coasts along, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Paces himself about the same way.
Outside on the breaking ball, ball 1. There are those pitchers, and I mentioned Koufax and Seaver, that 20 years from now, when you describe to a kid how he pitched, you'll say it was the same every time, that same rhythm, and when he got into the flow, it was just beautiful to watch.
That's it.
Here's a strike, 2-1. He mentioned the disappointment when he hurt his arm in Cincinnati. I think the most disappointing moment of Tom Seaver's career, though, was the day, June 15th, some years back, when he was sent from New York.
1977.
There's a strike, 2-2.
Sometimes known as the Wednesday Night Massacre.
Remember the following day in the locker room, and I happened to be there, he was just too emotional to even speak, grabbed someone's pad and wrote his thoughts on a piece of paper. Matter of fact, I'm a great face. I have that piece of paper at home. Just a sad day for one of the all-time greats. And the Winfield bat goes flying into the White Sox dugout.
He's been doing that lately, hasn't he?
That one game in Cleveland, the final game in Cleveland, he threw it 5 times. At times he'll throw the bat, though, Lindsey, line a base hit, which is absolutely incredible. Just a tribute to his great athletic ability. 2-2 to Winfield, leading it off here in the bottom of the 4th. Yankees with a 1-0 lead. Tom Seaver going for number 300. Wiggle out of the way. That's the second time Seaver's tried that real slow breaking curve, and it's gotten away from him. Watch Seaver on the delivery here. like he let loose that ball a little earlier than he wanted to, Lindsey.
Could have been.
So the count is full now to Winfield. Seaver has yet to walk a batter. He has struck out one. That was Griffey in the first inning, but Griffey has the RBI single in the third inning for a 1-0 lead. And a good play by Hewlett. His throw is low. Will undoubtedly give Winfield an infield hit. Lindsey Nelson, another aspect of Dave Winfield's game is the way he gets down the line. They're going to call it an error on Hewlett. I thought he made a good play, but the throw is off the line, and they felt he should have had him. Gets up. They might have had him by half a step. So the error goes to Tim Hewlett. And Winfield is on as Walker tried to make the play on the short hop. Dan Pasqua, the youngster from Harrington Park, New Jersey, who had a big day yesterday. Ball one. Lindsey, he had a game earlier in the year in which he hit 2 home runs back-to-back times into the upper deck in right field here at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, my.
Winfield from first, nobody out. He's strong and a great deal of talent. Lou Piniella, the Yankee hitting coach, feels a year from now, anything that resembles a question about this young man will be dissipated. There's the batting coach, who could stroke that ball pretty well. 1-1. People talk too much about Seaver's move because it was just another very good part of a very good.
That's very true.
Game. Ball 2, 2-1. Winfield on Hewlett's error to lead off this bottom of the fourth. We have not gotten an attendance figure yet, but there are 50,000 plus.
There are a lot.
A lot of people.
They were here early, too. I came out very early, not having anywhere else to go. I wanted to get off the street, and I got here early, and there were a lot of people out there.
Oh, yeah. Traffic was terrible coming across the George Washington Bridge there. Pitch fouled away. Jerry Azar, one of the local sportscasters, walked by before. He said, boy, he said, you're a sports fan, and you can't be happy today. You better take a good look at yourself in the mirror.
Absolutely. I'm awfully glad I didn't miss this. This is one of the great days in sports, really.
We're happy to have you with us. Lindsey Nelson, one of the original announcers for the New York Mets. Been doing a lot of football this winter. Still doing baseball on the CBS radio network.
Right.
Nice folks over there, Frank Miller, Dick Gresham. 2-2. The count to Dan Pasqua with Winfield down at first, nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth, 1-0 Yankees. Winfield has stolen 9 bases. Two pitch. And a check swing foul. Count holds 2-2.
Winfield had a pretty good bluff start.
Texas has now moved out in front of Toronto 7-3 in the 7th inning. Boston 2-0 over Kansas City as they play the 3rd. I think Seaver's concern is so much about Winfield trying to steal. It's more about the Yankees perhaps playing hit and run. There's nobody out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Goes Winfield, and it's fouled straight back. And that's got to be a confidence booster for a youngster like Dan Pasqua to be put in this situation against Tom Seaver. And Billy Martin says, hit and run. I feel you are capable of getting you back in the ball.
also doing, Spencer, is making Seaver throw fastballs. If he thinks that Winfield is going to be running, he doesn't want to get a curveball too far down the dirt.
2-2. And this one's fouled away. Winfield was not moving on that pitch. Fly to center in his first at bat. Seaver has given up but 3 base hits. Ruzzuto scoring the lone run of the ball game in the 3rd inning. There's Winfield from first. And there goes Winfield. The 2-2 pitch hit to Walker has but 1 play to first base. So Winfield running on the play puts the Yankee runner into scoring position with 1 man out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Step in. Hasse flied to left back in the 2nd, and the Yankee run came in the 3rd. A single by Ruzzuto went to 2nd on Henderson's ground ball and scored on Griffey's single. So 2 of the 3 Yankee hits coming in that 3rd frame. Strike 1 foul. Joe Cowley has shut out the White Sox through the first 4, although he has given up 5 hits and he has walked 3. White Sox have left 5 on base. Cowley aided by 1 double play. Winfield from 2nd. Using that inside part of the plate throughout his career, wasn't he, Lindsey? Absolutely. That's his territory. This one's fouled straight back, and the count goes 1-2.
When Seaver was growing up, his hero was Henry Aaron. He thought Henry Aaron was the greatest hitter ever, and so finally the wheels grew on, and he got to the major leagues, and he looked up one day and was pitching to Henry Aaron. Brought the pitch in tight, and Henry hit into a double play. Seaver says that's the worst thing could ever have happened to me, because the next time he came up, I said, see, I know how to pitch to him. I brought it in tight, and he hit it 8 miles.
1-2 to Hasse with Winfield at 2nd, 1 out. And it's fouled away. Yankees with a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Learning experience for Tom Seaver back in 1967. And now he's the teacher, the master. Pickoff throw. Tony La Russa felt that the Sox had gotten some runs from last year. Seaver could have won 20. He did win 15, lose 11. As I mentioned earlier, in his 8 losses this year, the White Sox have scored a total of 13 runs. And there's a great play by Walker. It saves a run. The throw to Seaver. And Winfield has to hold at 3rd base. Walker takes a base hit away from Hasse and a run away from the New York Yankees.
Ball is down. Hasse pulls it. Walker diving to his right, makes a fine backhanded play, then gets the ball to Seaver. That's always a tough play for a pitcher with a runner at 2nd base. He doesn't know whether to go over and cover first base or get behind home plate and back up the catcher. But Seaver went straight to first base and made the play. There's Winfield over at 3rd.
Willie Randolph now with 2 men out. Randolph bounced to short in his first at bat. Yankees with a 1-0 lead. Walker saving a run right there. Strike 1. Hey, Winfield. It was one of those old Jackie Robinson come 30 feet down the line bluffs just there. hitting at an even 290. And that hit Willie, so Randolph will take the base. It'll put runners at first and third. And the left-handed hitting Mike Pagliarulo will step to the plate.
Ball tails in on Randolph and gets him on his right shoulder. Or he got his right hand. Looks like it might have got him on the left hand there.
That's the sixth batter that Seaver has hit this season. So Winfield at third, Randolph at first. There are 2 outs. And Mike Pagliarulo, who singled in the third inning and came around to score on Ken Griffey's single, the only run of the ball game, steps in. Ball 1. Check it. Oh, strike 1. There you see home plate umpire Darrell Cousins making the indication. And Seaver is ahead of Pagliarulo, 0-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. 1-0, Yankees lead it. Winfield reached on an error by Ulick. Moved to second on Pasqua's ground ball, to third on Hassey's. Ground out to Walker, in which Walker saved a base hit. And Randolph hit by a pitch. 0-2. Catches it deep to right field, way back, foul ball. Close, but no Seaguar for Mike Pagliarulo. We talked earlier, the Yankees coming up with a base hit against Seaver on an 0-2 pitch, and right here Pagliarulo coming close to parking one on 0-2.
And we have a meeting of the board out there as well.
If they're going to change signs. Otherwise, why would they need D in there?
True.
Clubs have been known to steal signs from center field using cameras.
I've heard of that.
Cubs.
Yes. Even some giants at the Polo Ground.
Sure. Oh, we wouldn't do that.
How about some Mets at the Polo Ground? 0-2. Strike for the call to Seaver. Strikes out Pagliarulo to retire the side. No runs. An error. The Yankees leave 2 and through 4 here at the stadium on Ruzzuto Day. Yankees 1, White Sox 0.
Another summer giveaway is coming up this Wednesday afternoon when the Yankees play the Cleveland Indians at 1 o'clock. All fans 14 and under at the stadium will receive a free Yankee thermos. Compliments of Delwood. Good seats are on sale now, so make plans to be here. This Wednesday afternoon at 1, the Yankees against the Indians, and Delwood Yankee Thermos Day for all fans 14 and under.
That gentleman we were just looking at a moment ago, Bob Harris, who was the weatherman for WPIX TV News, and also the weatherman for the Major Leagues. Comes World Series time. He lets him know what he thinks is going to happen. As we go to the 5th inning, it's the shortstop, Ozzie Guillen, and he takes strike 1, 1-1.
I must tell you, I like the weather he delivered today.
Yes, what a beautiful day. Saw him before. I said, you only come out when it's nice out. Short left field, but Pasqua's there, and there's one man away. Bijan bounced into a double play in the 2nd inning. With runners at first and second, nobody out, hit it up the middle. Meacham cut it off, stepped on second and threw to first, and Cowley was out of one of 2 jams that he's been in this ball game. One in the 1st inning also. Luis Salazar. Cowley has struck out 2, Salazar and Fisk. And Salazar has the White Sox 6th base hit of the ball game. Pasqua, the throw into second up high, and Mattingly backing it up perfectly.
This ball will jam Salazar, but he gets enough of it to get it over the third baseman Paliulo's head. Here's the ball coming off to Pasqua, and he throws it high, but once again Mattingly backing up Randolph. He's where he should be, and Salazar has to hold at second base.
And once again, the White Sox have something cooking. First inning, a couple of base running mistakes hurt him. Rudy Law was picked off in the first. Rudy Law was also thrown out stealing in the third. And Law, who is 2 for 2 in the ball game, steps in. Ball 1. Cowley has found his control after a rocky start with balls and strikes. He walked 3 in the first 2 innings, not walked anyone since. Foul ball.
I heard that voice downstairs.
One ball, 1 strike to Rudy Law. The Yankees are leading in the ball game 1-0 as we go to the 5th inning. You hear a familiar voice kind of in the background. That's number 10. He has dropped up to make a visit. Phil Rizzuto will be chatting with the scooter when we move to the top of the 5th as we check the scores in the American League. Boston leading Kansas City. Cleveland and Baltimore now tied. Updating that, Baltimore's taken a 5-4 lead now in the 9th inning. And Texas leading Toronto. Detroit and Milwaukee are all even. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Rudy Law at the plate. And this could tie the ball game, but Pasqua's over. And he makes the catch for the second out. The ball hung up. And they're now 2 men away, and Luis Salazar still at second base. The White Sox have left 5 men on through the first 4 innings. And Brian Little, who walked in the first and fly to right in the third. Hit the ball pretty deeply in the 3rd inning, just about the edge of the warning track for Dave Winfield. Joe Cowley looking for his 10th win of the year. '20th of his career. The attention on the fella on the other side, though. But this kind of can perk any ball player up. When you're up against somebody shooting for 300, your adrenaline flows a little more, I would think. No question. One ball, 1 strike. It's a little. Yankees with a 1-0 lead as we play the top of the 5th. Luis Salazar, a 1-out double. Leads from second. Outside, 2-1. You don't want to walk anybody, but when you consider that Harold Baines is the man on deck, it's quite a step up from Brian Little. And Cowley is aware of that. 2-1 pitch. Missed outside, ball 3, 3-1.
Now, Paliulo's going to call time. He'll talk to Joe. Remind him the Baines is on deck. got a little fella here that can't hit the ball in the ballpark, and even if he gets a single, the Yankee outfielders are not playing him too deep. He's not going to hurt you that much. But the next fella, as you mentioned, can make it maybe 3-1. That's Baines.
Here's the 3-1 pitch to Little. And Cowley gets it in, 3-2.
And Little here, he wants to get out. He doesn't want to swing the bat. He'll take, he faked the bunt earlier. He just wants to get on and give Baines a chance to get a whack at Joe Cowley. Ricky Henderson out of center field resting.
Here's the full count pitch to Brian Little. And Cowley loses him, ball 4. And it will bring up Harold Baines, who is single and popped to short. Bobby Meacham made a super play going out into the left field grass. Billy Martin looking on.
He's trying to figure out what he's... Billy's mad. He's trying to... Gee, but he says, here's a guy, no home runs, 6 runs batted in, a 220 hitter, walks him. In fact, he's walked him twice in the ball game. And you've got the fellow Baines up, and he'll kill you. Billy can't believe it.
But he bounces it to Randolph at second, and Cowley has gotten out of another jam. 4-3, the side retired. No runs, 1 hit. The White Sox lead 2 through 4.5. 1-0 Yankees. We now pause for station identification. Bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees with a 1-0 lead, and the Scooter has joined us for a while. On a beautiful sunny afternoon, Phil, I said this was an afternoon of love. This was a love fest here at the stadium. And
I tell you, it was unbelievable. The fans, they've always been great. Maybe it's because I'm small, you know? And they never booed me, and they were just great to me my whole career. And I couldn't believe it. I felt the same thing, you know.
Oh, Phil, it was beautiful, and it was a tribute to what you have done over the last 45 years. Here at Yankee Stadium as a player in the broadcast booth, and I'm proud to be part of it along with you, Scooter.
Thank you, Spencer, very much. I'll tell you something funny. I was listening to the first part of the game while I was down in the suite with my family, and I hear this voice. I says, I know that guy, and I didn't know. I didn't have a chance to read the paper today, find out what was happening, and sure enough, they're going to watch this now. He stepped right on my foot, and there I go.
You know what that cow's name is?
What?
Stanky.
After all the holy cows I used, they got back at me. They're tricky, those cows. I can't believe that. I knew Don Carney would say that.
That's no bull. Right. 2-1 to Meacham, and he fouls it away.
But anyway, I saw the sports jacket, and I said, it's got to be Lindsey Nelson. He has the greatest array of eyes-catching sport jackets that I have ever seen.
This is solid silk, Scooter.
I felt that just as I'm not too shabby, Lindsey.
I'll tell you, for Phil Rizzuto Day at the stadium, I'll wear the best I've got.
All right, there it is. There it is. That is beautiful.
That is a beautiful jacket, folks. Take a look at that, huh?
Unbelievable.
Meacham broke his bat, goes back, gets another one. 2-2. You were very nervous about today.
I'll tell you, Spence, I had to grab that golf club, really, to help me, and Frank had to hold me for a while because, you know, up here, you don't realize the tremendous stadium this is until you're down there and you look up and you see those sea of faces. And it really is scary.
That's ball 3-2. But something that I know you had some trepidations about, but it's something that is going to be very high in your memory bank.
Hey, listen, this is the greatest thing that happened to me. You know, Lindsey, I knew they were going to retire my number, which means more to me, really. That Seaver's pitching like he wants to win his 300.
Yep, strike 3 call to Bobby Meacham.
Did you expect not the plaque?
Oh.
That was gorgeous. Oh, what a size. And I saw Mr. Steinbrenner. He did not want me to mention his name. Oh, look at that. I tell you, I'm going to sleep with that tonight. I didn't want to let that go. Number 10. But George Steinbrenner is the one who insisted on this day and retiring the number and putting a plaque out there. But he said, Please don't mention my name.
You won't mention it, will you?
Well, I'm going to do it up here. I think what he meant, that Huckleberry came to, and he shot. But I wouldn't do it down there on the field, but I'll certainly do it up here.
Here's Ricky Henderson to lead off. Yankees with a 1-0 lead. We're playing the bottom of the 5th. Seaver shooting for 300 on Phil Rizzuto Day.
Yeah, but you heard what I said. He's not going to get it here today.
You also said you've had a lot of dreams in your lifetime. You had another dream that the folks who may have joined us late. What's your dream this week?
That there will be no strike.
Okay, Scott.
And you know, most of my dreams have come true. Oh, that was not a strike. Here I am umpiring again, Lindsey. Why not? If you can't umpire on your day, who can? That's right. When it got in the fifth glove, it was a strike, but not before it crossed the plate inside.
Looked like it broke around the plate.
Yep.
1-2 to Henderson.
I tell you, for a 1-0 game, this is a long game.
Well, with Seaver pitching, Fisk catching, Cowley early in the game walked a couple of batters. There you see the story. White Sox about hit the Yankees, but they've left 7 men on base through the first 5. 1-2. Tim Hewlett. Now he played that ball nicely because it took a tricky hop and looked like it bounded off his chest, but right back into his glove.
He did stay with it real well. And Ricky was taking no chances. That one looked like it might have been a little low, but when you get a strike call on you that you're unhappy with, you go after that next pitch.
Instead of videotapes?
It said every movie that's my favorite that I've watched 20 or 30 times through the years.
I want to get you that Lash LaRue movie, though, that when you were back home a couple of weeks ago that I saw in Minnesota. You missed that.
I know it.
You're a big Lash LaRue fan.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey, who has the game's only RBI, single home Pagliarulo in the 3rd inning.
Lindsey, the defensive play has been tremendous here today.
Absolutely.
On both sides.
There's a ball. I was saying earlier, Phil, about that. There's an air here, a certain type of tension, a mixed emotion type tension. The Yankee fans, you, this gentleman here, Seaver. Oh, there's something special about the day.
There really is. And I'm sure there are loads of people rooting for Seaver to win it. I mean, how many pitchers have won 300 games?
16, and Seaver looking to become number 17. Yankees lead 1-0, bottom of the 5th. Griffey pops it up. Rudy Law, a little bit of trouble with the sun, but he puts it away in a 1-2-3 inning for Tom Seaver here in the bottom of the 5th inning. We've gone 5, and the Yankees lead the White Sox 1-0. 6th inning here at the stadium on Phil Rizzuto's day, with the Yankees leading the White Sox and Tom Seaver 1-0. Scooter, Art Ross Jr. says he's getting you a copy of Ceiling Zero with Jimmy Cagney. Circa 1938.
Cagney was always one of my... I love the way he got shot. It would take him 12 minutes to fall down. He'd run about 8 blocks and stumble, and then finally, but he was great.
I love that line when he died on the
steps?
On the steps, and the cop came over and said, "Who is that?" To his girlfriend. He used to be a big shot.
Yeah.
Right. Scooter, you're a big shot, and you'll always be, and we love you, and we're so happy we could be a part of this today, Phil.
Thank you, Spencer. And Lindsey, it was great seeing you again. Great to see you, really. Let's get Bill White back to work here. He looks too relaxed. I just want to take 1 second to again thank everybody who had anything to do with this day. It's, as you mentioned, Spencer, a day I'll never forget and cherish for the rest of my life. See you later, Lindsey. Jimmy Hunter. And, oh, listen to that.
Holy cow!
Holy cow.
Greg Walker takes ball 2, 2-0. Yankees with a 1-0 lead as we play the 6th inning. Walker is walked and single. White Sox have left 7 men on through the first 5 innings. They've out-hit the Yankees 6-3. Joe Cowley has walked 3. He struck out 2. Outside, ball 3. Double checking those walk figures. You saw them on the screen. That's correct. 4 walks issued by Cowley. And within 1 pitch of making it 5. It is 5. He walks Walker for a 2nd straight time. The old expression about how many times can you go to the well? You bet. And a tough man coming to the plate. Carlton Fisk. Cowley got into those control problems in the 1st inning, but then with Fisk up, got ahead of him 0-2, and he turned over a beautiful curveball to strike him out. And then ahead of Fisk again 0-2 in the 4th inning, got him to pop to Meacham at short.
Brian Fisher is going Shirley. Fisher and Shirley.
Ball 1.
There's Bob Shirley and Brian Fisher throwing in the Yankee bullpen. Shirley the left-hander and Fisher the hard-throwing right-hander.
This could be 2. Meacham, Randolph 1, Mattingly safe. Ball hit just a little bit too slow, and even with Fisk going down the line, Yankees come close but can't turn it over.
Now Billy Martin's going to come out and argue as we watch the play again. Here's Meacham to his right. He hurries the ball to Randolph. Randolph's throw down the right field line just a little bit, but I believe that Mr. Fisk could have been called out.
Yes, I believe you're right, Phil. His foot had not touched that bag.
Well, what happens, Spencer, these umpires, they get caught behind the play. The first base umpire, Shulock, actually didn't see. He's anticipating a little bit. He was hidden by Mattingly. Watch the umpire here. He took his time, called it, and they called him safe. So he felt he had a good look at the play.
So with 1 man out, Oscar Gamble steps in.
You got to turn the double play with Fisk. He doesn't run that well.
Yeah.
That should be turned.
Gamble popped to second his last at bat, walked back in the 2nd inning. Strike 1.
Also, it would not hurt Mattingly to play behind Carlton Fisk, not too far back. Fisk will try to steal in certain situations, but that would give him a little more lateral movement with Gamble batting.
Outside, 1-1. Of course, with Mattingly holding Fisk on, there's that gap in between Mattingly and Willie Randolph.
Well, the Met fans and the Yankee fans are fighting here. And the guys up there started chanting, "Let's go Mets." The Yankee fans respond with boos. Say, hey, you're my home now. You're not across the bridge over there, Charborough Bridge.
One strike, 1 out. And it's now 2 balls and 1 strike to Oscar Gamble. Yankees with a 1-0 lead. Now DeRullo single in the 3rd. Scoring on a Griffey single. Ball 3, 3-1.
Well, you can't argue with Cowley's success. He's won 9 games this year for the Yankees, lost 4, but you'd like to see him be a little more aggressive. He's pitching a little timidly, I think. And he doesn't have to because he's got good stuff. He should just come at these hitters and say, hey, I'm a better pitcher than you are hitter.
3-1 pitch in the hole with Mattingly holding the man on. And around to 3rd goes Fisk. And Bill, just what you talked about. That gap is there when you have to hold the man on first base. And it turns out to be a plus for the Chicago White Sox. And here's Billy Martin.
And a minus for Joe Cowley because Billy might want a strikeout here, and Tim Hewlett's a batter, and he might want Fisher, and he does want Fisher. He wants somebody who can throw that ball in there 95 miles an hour, and somebody who will go at the hitters. And it's going to be this young fella here, Brian Fisher. He'll come on and replace Joe Cowley. So while the pitching change is being made, let's take time out along the Yankee Baseball Network for the following message. Brian Fisher making his 32nd relief appearance for the Yankees. He's won 2 and lost 2. A 2.33 ERA and 4 saves. Joe Cowley went 5 1/3. They gave up no runs on 7 base hits. He struck out 2, walked 5, and kept wiggling in and out of trouble. It'll be Fisher's job to try to get Tim Hewlett out. Of course, the 2 people on Fisk over at third base and Gamble on at first are the responsibility of Joe Cowley. And here, Spencer, Billy simply wants somebody who can throw that ball 95 miles an hour. He doesn't want to try to fool Hewlett. Just run him away from there if you can. But the Yankees are going to have to worry, I think, a bit about the squeeze in this situation.
Well, it's 1st and 3rd. You saw those numbers, 20 walks and 45 strikeouts for Fisher. In his last 11 appearances in 16 innings, he has given up only 8 hits and 1 run in 16 innings. And he has walked 4 and struck out 17. And Tim Hewlett, who has struck out 56 times this year, he singled in the 2nd inning and then bounced out to Randolph. There you see Fisk leading from 3rd. Strike 1, and Gamble on at 1st. Good performance by Joe Cowley. He did walk 5, got into trouble, but pitched out of it each and every time. Up high, 1-1. You see, the White Sox have out-hit the Yankees. That error did not hurt Chicago. It was by Hewlett. This is fouled away, and Brian Fisher has gotten ahead of Tim Hewlett at 1-2. Lindsey, I don't imagine you've seen much of this young man, but he is a man of the future. And
I'm told that.
And he has done quite a fine job for the Yankees this year. Product of the Atlanta Braves chain. There's Fisk at 3rd. Inside, 2-2. Fisher nearly made the ball club in spring training. He had a streak of about 14 shutout innings. In his last appearance, gave up a couple of runs. Yankees started him out in Columbus, but brought him back quickly. He's been with the team since May 7th. 2-2. And it's hit to right field. It'll score a run. Fisk will score. Gamble on his way to 3rd. And it'll be a ground rule double. So 2-2 the count, and Hewlett strokes the ball into right field, and we've got a new ball game. We're tied at 1. Back to that controversial call at first base with Carlton Fisk, in which the Yankees thought they turned the double play. First base umpire John Shulak said no, and we've got a 1-1 ball game.
And the infield up.
And once again, a good bunter up at the plate in Gijan. I don't know if he'd use Gamble on the front end of a squeeze. They thought they might. Call the pitch out.
There's Gamble down at 3rd. Hewlett away from 2nd. The Yankee infield is in. We're tied at 1 in the top of the 6th. It's 2 pitch outs, back-to-back, 2-0.
They might go all the way through pitching out. They got first base open, and a right-hander, Salazar, is on deck. They might throw 4 straight pitch outs with Gian and hope that have to put the squeeze on one of the next two, huh, Lindsey?
Right.
Right field, Winfield on, makes the catch, no, bobbles it. So it's a base hit, throw comes to the plate, Gamble scores, and the White Sox lead it now by a score of 2-1.
I thought he had made the shoestringer.
Well, let's watch again. He got to the ball. I think when Winfield hit the ground, the ball popped out. You come on here, he has the ball there. Now, all of a sudden, popped out of the glove, and technically you've got to bring the ball out with the meat hand. Dave did not do that. So Guillen gets a base hit and a run batted in, and those 2 runs now charged to Joe Cowley. Brian Fisher working on his own ERA.
And the White Sox now with runners at first and second. And Luis Salazar takes ball 1. Kind of strange. Hewlett's still at second base.
Well, he didn't know what to do because he thought Winfield, the last time he looked, Winfield had the ball in the glove and it popped out, and Hewlett didn't know what to do, so he decided to stay put.
Popped up, but it'll go out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike to Luis Salazar. It was 1 for 2 in the ball game. White Sox have come from behind here in the 6th inning to take a 2-1 lead. Texas beat Toronto this afternoon, 8-4. Detroit over Milwaukee, 7-4. Baltimore a 5-4 winner over the Indians. Tim Hewlett down at second.
There's the line on Joe Cowley. 5 1/3 innings pitched. 7 hits.
Hewlett's double tied the ball game.
5 walks.
Scoring
2
fifth.
strikeouts.
And the count is now 1-2 to Salazar.
5 1/3 innings. 7 hits. 2 runs, full third. 5 walks. 2 strikeouts.
So at this point, Joe Cowley is the pitcher of record on the losing side. He can now win the ball game. White Sox 2, Yankees 1. Meacham to Randolph, and that'll be it. The force play, 6-4. Meacham had to hold up just a bit with Hewlett cutting in front of him. Hewlett advances down to third.
Billy Martin coming back out again. Rudy Law's a do-batter. Billy might want Bob Shirley to come on. Shirley's out loosening up. He's a left-hander. And with runners at first and third, Martin certainly would like to keep this White Sox lead at just 1 run. And it looks like he's going to let Fisher continue.
Billy Martin moving back to the dugout. Yankees. Joe Cowley had trouble with Rudy Law. A couple of singles and a fly ball to left field. So he's 2 for 3. But once Law got in the bases, he then began to have trouble. Cowley picked him off in the first. And Law was thrown out stealing in the third. 2-1 in favor of the White Sox. Top of the 6th. Ball 1. Hewlett's at third, Salazar at first. The base on ball started this off. The walk to Walker. A force play. A single by Gamble. And Hewlett doubled home a run. Fusion single to score another. And Salazar hitting into a force play, and Rudy Law.
It's Law one. He's looking up. Oh, he doesn't like his picture on the board while he's hitting. He's trying. Rudy doesn't want his picture up on the board while he's hitting. says, hey, that's distracting watching me hit. But
oh, we got the crowd responding because while Tom Seaver goes for 300, Rod Carew came up with his 3,000th Major League base hit today, and he got it against his former ball club, the Minnesota Twins. There had been some thought about a week ago when Carew needed about 10 base hits. Had there been a strike, just what might happen? Rod Carew might get shut out. Up high, 3-0.
Well, I think the threat of the strike also added to the drama of this occasion because you figure that Seaver's going to win 300 sometime, but if there's a strike, this might be his last shot this year.
And, of course, we're not talking about kids. We're talking about Seaver and Carew. Brian Fisher has walked Rudy Law on 4 straight pitches. And the bases are now loaded with White Sox. Hewlett is at third. Salazar moving to second. And Law at first, and Brian Little.
Well, Rod Carew got that base hit in California. He probably would have preferred to get it in Minnesota against his former mates.
Up high, ball 1. Fisher having some control problems right here. He walked Law on 4 pitches, and now 1-0 to Brian Little. Strike 1. 2 runs for the White Sox here in the 6th to take a 2-1 lead. Mattingly cannot get it either. Can Randolph? Hewlett scores. Salazar scores. White Sox have taken a 4-1 lead.
Fastball right down the middle. He finds a gap between Mattingly and Randolph. Out of reach of both Yankee infielders. And 2 more runs score, and those will be charged to Brian Fisher.
And Tom Seaver resting back in the White Sox dugout. His team has given him a 3-run lead now. And there's another base hit by Harold Baines. And the White Sox increase their lead. Oh, out at the plate. Law is thrown out. Dan Pasqua rifles the ball to the plate, and he cuts Law down to retire the side. Tony La Russa doesn't believe it. He's been thrown out of the ball game. Oh, La Russa got hot and got hot quickly. Tony La Russa came flying out of the dugout. Baines got the hit to left field. Law was thrown out. But for the White Sox, they bat around. They come up with 4 runs on 4 base hits. And after 5.5 innings, it's Chicago 4 and the Yankees 1. Bottom of the 6th inning here at the stadium.
Let's watch Pasqua again. Makes a good charge on a ball. Comes up. Nice overhand throw that carries. Here's Rudy Law looking back, which makes him lose just a little bit of his speed. Diving here. And home plate umpire Darrell Cousins calls Law out. I think they also booted out Tony La Russa.
So Don Mattingly to lead it off for the Yankees in the bottom of the 6th. For the first time this afternoon, New York has fallen behind. Mattingly singled in the first and bounced into a force play. Ball 2. Seaver has given up 3 base hits in the ball game. The last one, Ken Griffey's RBI single in the 3rd. Strike 1. Like all great pitchers, Seaver no exception. They get stronger, and you've seen it so many times, haven't you, Lindsey Nelson, with him?
Absolutely, and in a circumstance like this, it takes all the discipline that the best pitcher can get not to let up a little bit when he looks up there and sees he's got the 4 runs now. Not to let up is a difficult thing.
But not for a great one like a Seaver, right?
That's what makes the difference.
2-2 to Mattingly. Greg Walker, he'll take it by himself. So Mattingly retired on the ground ball to Walker, and there's 1 man away here in the 6th inning. Dave Winfield steps in.
Ejected number 3 for Ruzzuto, number 3 in 1985.
Let's get the word. That's the 3rd time this year Tony La Russa was thrown out. He may never have been thrown out quicker from a ball game than he was just then.
Nor in front of more people, including the commissioner.
That's the... Of course, he's lucky Bobby Brown, the American League president, is not here. Brown would have the duty of meting out whatever penalty would be given to La Russa. Did a good job of bumping.
Oh, yeah. Winfield, strike 1. Winfield fly to center and then reached on an error by Hewlett. Hewlett went into the hole, going to his left to stab the ball. His throw was in the dirt, and Walker couldn't hold it. This has popped up. Tim Hewlett. And there are 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Tom Seaver's daughter getting a shot there.
As this game progresses, if the White Sox continue to hold the lead, she's going to be going through more and more rolls of that 35mm film. Dan Pasqua, who's 0 for 2. He flied to center, then bounced to Walker. Yankees trail 4-2, 4-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Fastball, strike 1. Since Griffey's single in the 3rd, the Yankees have had but 2 base runners. Winfield on Hewlett's error, and Randolph when he was hit by a Seaver pitch.
On that last pitch, Seaver on the follow-through ended up right on the seat of his pants.
Got the outside corner, 1-2. A man who was seemingly in his entire life has done very little, which has put him on the seat of his pants. Number 41, Tom Seaver. Ball 2, 2-2. Certain numbers that depict greatness, players remembered. The Roots, the Garricks, the Maggios, Ruzzutos, Mantles, Jackie Robinson. Dan Pasqua. Harrington Park, New Jersey. As a youngster, he watched Tom Seaver pitching for the New York Mets. And it swung on and missed, strike 3. Seaver has a 1-2-3 inning through 6. It's the White Sox 4. The Yankees 1 on the Canon Camera scoreboard. And we're now going to pause for station identification. Bob Shirley comes on, third pitcher of the afternoon for the Yankees, after Brian Fisher made his move in relief and did not fare too well. For Shirley, this his 26th game of the season, a record of 3 wins, 3 losses, an earned run average of 3.52 on the year. And Shirley's last appearance in Cleveland in a 9-1 Yankee loss, he pitched 2 no-hit innings, walked 1 and struck out 1. This is third appearance of the year against the White Sox. He is 0-1. He came out in a ball game at Chicago in the 11th inning, gave up 4 straight hits. White Sox scored a run and beat the Yankees by a score of 5-4. That was back on April the 27th. So Shirley comes to the mound. Brian Fisher came on after Joe Cowley got into trouble in the 6th inning. It was still a 2-0 ball game, but then Tim Hewlett doubled off Fisher. Ozzie Guillen single. There was a forced play, a walk. Brian Little's 2-run single, another single, and the White Sox put 4 runs on the board. Fisher, 2/3 of an inning, gave up 4 hits, walked 1, did not strike out anyone, and gave up 2 runs. Greg Walker to lead it off. Bill?
All right, Spence. White Sox had batted around in that 6th inning, and Walker in that a 6th inning walk, leading the inning off. He's walked twice and single in the ball game, and the count is 1-0. Now it's 2-0. And that's a strike. 2 balls and a strike on Walker. He's batting .277, 15 home runs, 63 runs batted in, and it's 2-1. Walker will be followed by Carlton Fisk and then Oscar Gamble. That's high. 3-1. Out of play. 3-2. Full count. Well, the Rangers beat the Blue Jays 8-4. That's a final. Yankees at this point 9 games behind the Toronto Blue Jays and the American League East, with a chance to either pick up or pick up another half game or stay put at 9.5. Into left center field, Pasqua coming on, glasses down for the first out.
Pasqua made a good defensive play to close out the 6th inning on Bain's single to left. He threw out Law at the plate with a perfect strike. Tony La Russa didn't think so, and he got the heave-ho.
La Russa booted out of the ball game for the 3rd time this year. Here's Carlton Fisk, who was struck out, popped up, and forced a runner, and scored a run. He scored the tying run in the 6th inning. He was called safe at first base on a close play on the back end of a double play. And that was obviously a very important call in this ball game.
Yankees would have gotten out of the inning.
Ball 1. The White Sox 4 runs, 11 hits, have made 1 error. The Yankees 1 run on just 3 base hits. They've played airless baseball. And the White Sox have gotten at least 1 hit through the first 6 innings, including 5 last inning when they scored their 4 runs. It's 1 ball and 1 strike on Fisk. Into left, Pasqua can't get it. And Fisk will hold at second with a 2-base hit. Carlton Fisk hit that ball hard over Pasqua's head up against the wall, and he has doubled with 1 out in the 7th inning.
He hit a rocket, kind of like you see Don Baylor hit, and the added strength of Carlton Fisk right here. Pasqua got the glove up, but it just seemed to have a beat on it, but the ball kind of came in between his glove and his body. And a rocket line drive double by Fisk, who leads the American League in home runs.
we've got a pinch hitter now for Oscar Gamble. LaRussa going with a right-handed hitter, Ron Kittle. Kittle batting with Fisk down at second base and 1 out. And the White Sox leading 4-1, and he takes low, ball 1. Home runs, 17 runs batted in for Kittle. Two and 0. There's Fisk. The Yankees get another reliever up in their bullpen. It's a right-hander. The third pitcher used by the Yankees. Joe Cowley started. There's Neil Allen warming up now. Brian Fisher came on. He pitched 2/3 of an inning in the 6th. And now Bob Shirley, and warming up behind Shirley, Neil Allen, another former Met. 2-2. A bit low, and the count is full on Ron Kittle. Got him, struck him out. Kittle goes down on strikes for the second out. Fisk still at second base, and here's Tim Hewlett. He got the big hit in the 6th inning as he doubled in Carlton Fisk. Fisk was on the run, and he doubled him in, sent Gamble to third. Then Gamble scored on a single by Ozzie Guillen. Hewlett and Salazar scored on a single by Brian Little. And it's 4-1 Chicago. There's a strike. Play. No balls and 2 strikes. The shadow working its way out toward the pitching mound, which will not make hitting easy. It's tough enough to hit as it is. Seaver working on a 3-hitter, and the shadow should obviously help him. 1-2. There's Seaver. Last man to win 300. Steve Carlton of the Philadelphia Phillies, 1983. The year before that, Gaylord Perry, pitching then with the Seattle Mariners. 1963, Early Wynn won his 300 with Cleveland.
Case of both Wynn and Perry, they weren't quite the pitchers at that stage of their career that Seaver remains, and Carlton was when he got his 300th victory.
2-2. Curveball, did he go? Evidently not. They did, as they checked with the first base umpire, John Schumacher, and that'll retire the side. No runs, a base hit, and a man left. Bottom of the 7th coming up. The White Sox 4, the Yankees 1.
The New York Yankee hotline is available to fans all across the USA simply by calling 1-900-410-YANK. Game highlights, interviews, late-breaking news, and play-by-play Yankee baseball action just a phone call away. Brought to you by Kodak Film. Call today, 1-900-410-YANK. Well, you saw that sign for the scooter. This is Phil Rizzuto's day. Tom Seaver is looking to make it his 300th victory day, and he has a 4-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. There's Chorus Fan Club, and she's got a lot of fans, Bill.
Ron Hassey leading off off against Seaver. 7th inning, White Sox lead 4-1. Yankees have been limited to just 3 base hits by Seaver. A single by Mattingly in the first, a single by Mike Pagliarulo in the third, and an RBI single by Ken Griffey in that 3rd inning. Yankees have not had a base hit off of Seaver since the 3rd. And here it's 1-1 on Hasse.
Hasse was robbed, Bill. Hasse was robbed his last at bat. Greg Walker took a base hit away from him as he went into the hole between first and second.
1-1. In the air, shallow right. Baines coming on, and he'll take charge. Little gets out of the way, and there's one down.
That's 8 in a row that Seaver is retired now as he is getting stronger. 3 of his 4 strikeouts coming from the 4th inning on.
Willie Randolph has bounced to short, and he's been hit by a pitch. 0 for 1 for Randolph.
You mentioned that shadow, Bill. That really is tough for the batter. It'll keep coming further out to Seaver and make it just a little bit tougher, perhaps.
Strike to Randolph.
There you see it, and with the upper deck facade here at the stadium and the lights, it's even tougher because you got shadow, shadow, light, 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 shadow.
How's that again?
Well, something along those lines.
It's a ball and a strike on Randolph. Since Seaver's been in the American League, the Yankees have not beaten him. He's beaten the Yankees twice and not lost to them. He's looking to run that record to 3-0. That's low.
What goes through your mind, Lindsey Nelson, having been there that first day in 1967 when you see this gentleman now?
Well, what goes through my mind is that the historical significance of this occasion has not escaped Tom Seaver's attention. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he knows exactly what he came to do, and it's just like watching a master craftsman at work.
In the left, broken bat fly ball to left field. Rudy Law has an easy chance, and there are 2 outs.
They even had the family bring along the camera.
Brought along the camera. He's aware, too, that Lefty Grove and Early Wynn won their 300th and never won another game. They both ended up, Lefty Grove and Early Wynn, with 300, and that was all. Seaver does not intend to do it that way. He starts to work the minute this one's over on 301, he says.
Probably looking at Warren Spahn's 363. What do you think of that? Pagliarulo takes the strike.
Well, I think he took the sheriff's posse to get him to stop even then. He'd have been pitching right today if they hadn't taken some stringent steps.
He finished up with the Mets, didn't he, Lindsey? Or was with the Mets right near the end?
He pitched for them, yes.
Warren Spahn pitched from 1942 to 1965. He won 363.
And never won one until he was 25 years old because he'd been in the Army, was on the Remagen Bridge, was on the Remagen Bridge, as a matter of fact, with a repair battalion. 20 minutes after he left, the bridge collapsed and killed some 15 to 20 soldiers.
2-1. Into center field, Salazar. Nice lazy fly ball. That'll retire the side. 3 up and 3 down. We've played 7. The White Sox 4, the Yankees 1.
Top of the 8th inning here at the stadium. Spencer Ross, Bill White, Lindsey Nelson joining us as Tom Seaver goes for career victory number 300, and he is now 6 outs away from becoming the 17th in Major League history to accomplish that feat. The Seaver family with wife Nancy in the middle as they are watching as Seaver has a 4-1 lead. He has given up 3 base hits to the Yankees, and we move to the 8th inning. Bob Shirley to pitch against Ozzie Guillen, Luis Salazar, and Rudy Law. Bill?
And it's a ball high again. He's bounced into a double play, fly to left field, and single in a run. And he wants a new batting helmet. 1 for 3 for the young shortstop from Venezuela. White Sox picked him up from the San Diego Padres in the Lamar Hoyt deal. Popped up, and Hasse will have to hurry. He will not get there. In foul territory. 1 ball, 1 strike on Gill. Ball got down to hurry.
Yep. Hasse made the long run, but unable to come up with it.
White Sox 4, Yankees 1. They're batting in the 8th. Looking ahead for the Yankees' 8th inning, Meacham, Henderson, and Griffey due up. And the Yankees have simply not done anything with Tom Seaver this afternoon. 3 singles against the right-hander. One and 2. Pasqua gets there for the catch. And Pasqua. And there's one away.
Now that's the second good defensive play by Pasqua, who threw out Law at the plate in the 6th inning when the White Sox scored 4 runs. Comes on quickly, extends the glove, and puts it away for the first out. Look at it from a different angle. And there's 1 out.
And now the batter is Luis Salazar, the center fielder who has struck out double, forced a runner, and scored a run. Ball 1.
Heck of a crowd here today. 54,032 for Phil Rizzuto Day. And also to see Tom Seaver go for victory number 300.
It's a ball and a strike on Salazar. Try to make him hit breaking balls. Has good rips at fastballs. Well, the Reds beat the Dodgers 5-4, and the Phillies shut out St. Louis 6-0. That's high, so the Mets pick up a game on the Cardinals, not just a half game back. Edge Cleveland 5-4. Texas over Toronto 8-4. In the first game, Detroit beat Milwaukee 7-4. So the Yankees in danger of falling a half game behind Detroit. The Tigers would move into second. Should the Yankees not get something going this last couple of innings. 3-2 on Salazar. They're in the 10th inning in Kansas City. Boston and Kansas City tied 3-3. Popped up right side. Mattingly. Wynn brings the ball back for him, and there are 2 outs.
They're going to get a pinch hitter coming up here. Reed Nichols will hit for Rudy Law with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Nichols came over from the Red Sox in the deal that sent Tim Lawler to Boston. And he'll hit for Law, who had 2 base hits in the ballgame.
Too high, ball 1. It's hard to break into that Red Sox outfield. Jim Rice, Tony Armas, Dwight Evans. Last year, all 3 of them drove in 100 runs. 2-0 on Nichols. 2-1. And 2. Wide, ball 3. Is that Bob James getting loose for the White Sox? He's been their top reliever. Had some knee problems. count on Reed Nichols with 2 outs, nobody on in the top of the 8th with the White Sox leading 4-1 over the Yankees. Back up the middle, it'll go through, base hit Nichols. Well, Reed Nichols pinch hitting for Rudy Law, singles up the middle with 2 outs, and we look at Seaver. We'll also get a pinch hitter for Brian Little, Scott Fletcher, swinging a bat in the on-deck circle.
So a lot of moves being made here in the late stages of this ball game. White Sox are leading it by a score of 4-1. We've got Fletcher hitting now for Little. Little came up with perhaps the key base hit in the ball game, the 2-run single in the 6th inning off Bryant Fisher, which gave the White Sox a 4-1 lead. He also walked twice. And here is Fletcher in as the pinch hitter.
Fletcher batting .229, no home runs, 19 runs batted in. We'll have a couple of defensive changes in the bottom of this inning for the White Sox. Nichols will probably stay in and go to left, and Fletcher at second. A strike call on the inside corner. Out of play down the right side. No chance for Mattingly. It's 0-2. White Sox leading 4-1. They won the opener of this series by a score of 6-5 and 11. When Carlton Fisk tagged Meacham and Berra on the same play at home plate. The Yankees came back yesterday. They won 8-4 over the White Sox. With the White Sox leading this one. Too high. Milwaukee's taken a 1-0 lead over the Tigers in the second game of that doubleheader after one. Too high again to Fletcher. Tigers won the opener 7-4. And as of now, they're tied with the Yankees for second place in the American League East. The Yankees are losing this one, and the Tigers are winning the second game. Doesn't sound right, does it? They're losing the second game. One losing. In the right field, there's Winfield. And this will be the third out. No runs, a base hit, and a man left. We're going to the bottom half of the 8th inning. The White Sox lead the Yankees 4-1. Couple changes for the White Sox. New left fielder, Reed Nichols, and a new second baseman, Scott Fletcher. And a new broadcaster, Spencer Ross.
Okay, Bill. Bobby Meacham to lead it off against Tom Seaver, who was retired the last 10 Yankees to come to the plate. He is 6 outs away from career victory number 300. Strike one. Meacham 0 for 2. Fly to center, took a called third strike. Seaver has struck out 4. Up high, 1-1. Through the hole, base hit. Walker can't get it. Seaver had retired 10 in a row, and Meacham leads off the 8th inning with a ground single into right field.
And right away, the White Sox bullpen gets busy. Here's Meacham again, hands back, turns it over, and hits it through the right side.
trouble still with that left hand that he injured a little less than a week ago. Makes it difficult for the bat right-handed. Ricky Henderson still looking for his first base hit. He's 0 for 3. Pops it up. It'll go out of play. Lindsey, you've seen Seaver in so many of these situations, and always maintains his cool, doesn't he? We got Juan Acosta and Bob James out there. What I said is, and in the Yankee bullpen, Neil Allen, he maintains his cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He'll go as long as he can, as strong as he can.
Count is 0-1 to Henderson. 1-1. There are mixed emotions in this ballpark. The Yankee fans want a victory for their team, and there are the fans who still think Tom Seaver's a New Yorker. 2-1. And there are a lot of fans. 54,032 out here this afternoon. The Scooters Day. Two and one to Henderson. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Came inside on him.
Turned it over inside. Ball will tail in just a little bit and down on Henderson. Well, I see a knee pad on Seaver's right knee because he scrapes that thing coming off the mound.
Yeah, you might. That's right.
Right there. Looks like he's got a knee pad under the uniform because that dirt there, that's where he scrapes it when he follows through.
Does.
2-2 to Henderson. Whoa, took it. Called strike 3. Seaver nips the inside corner. His 5th strikeout and the first out for the Yankees here in the 8th inning.
That is that breaking pitch of which we spoke.
Fisk's a pretty crafty catcher. He caught that ball and made sure it was in the strike zone. Awfully close pitch, and a good catcher can help a pretty good pitcher. You can catch everything into the strike zone, pulling it into the strike zone, and you'll get a lot of pitches that are close.
So 1 man away, and Ken Griffey, who back in the 3rd inning singled home Mike Pagliarulo. Yankees had a 1-0 lead, which held till the 6th when the White Sox broke through to score 4. Down low, 1-0. Ball 2, 2-0 to Griffey. White Sox with 4 runs in the 6th inning when they batted around. That's Meacham away from first. Fouled off Griffey's leg. 2-1. The shadows now have passed beyond the mound. Imagine most White Sox games late in the afternoon, you get shadows because they play long baseball games. Bobby Valentine, when he managed his first game in the American League against the White Sox, you want to know if they get paid by the hour. The second baseman, Fletcher, goes to short, and Guzin for 1. So there are 2 men away in the force play, 4-6 if you're scoring.
Griffey gets on top of the ball. And Fletcher will go to second base. I thought perhaps he would go to first to make the sure play, but he wants to cut that runoff at second base. Beecham trying to get Guillen, but missed him.
So with 2 outs, Mattingly steps in. Singled in the first, bounced into a force play, and grounded out to Walker. He's 1 for 3. Yankees down 4-1. They've been out hit 13-4. Up high, ball 1.
I think Tom's getting by a little bit on experience now.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Yep.
Right field. It's a fair ball in the corner. And the Yankees have put runners at first and third as Griffey moves over to third. Right down the line, had to wait for a moment to see if that was going to be a fair ball. And the tying run will come to the plate.
Here's Mattingly ripping the ball into the right field corner. It kicks out to Baines, and Mattingly wisely decides to play it safe and hold at first base. Griffey at third. Dave Duncan now out talking with Seaver. I'm sure Tom would like to finish this ball game. And it looks like he's going to stay in. We mentioned earlier that Tony La Russa was booted out of the ball game on a play at home. And, yep, he says, I want to stay.
I think that's understandable.
Yep.
And I think it's understandable also that they would give him the benefit of the doubt if there is indeed one. Tom Seaver's been around long enough to know when it's time to say, I don't want to stay. There's the former president of the United States, Richard Nixon, who's in attendance this afternoon. It's out to see a lot of the New York Yankee ball games. And here is Winfield.
Quietly, Winfield represents a tying run there in this ball game.
Griffey is at third. Mattingly at first. There are 2 men out. There you see the score. 4-1 Chicago. Tom Seaver 4 outs away from becoming the 17th pitcher in Major League history to win 300. But it could be a long 4 outs. There's that breaking ball again. Strike 1.
Fastball inside here.
Too far inside, 1-1. Seaver has not walked the batter. He has struck out 5, and he has hit 1. That was Willie Randolph back in the 4th inning. From that point on, the Yankees did not have a base runner until here in the 8th. Seaver retired 10 in a row. 1-1 to Winfield. 1-2.
Just a riding fastball, and Winfield swung over. Seaver went back and got a little bit extra, kept it low, and it was a good pitch.
Well, this is what this game is all about right here. The great pitcher against a great hitter and the tying run at the plate.
Seaver's been in this situation so many times. The man at the plate's been there too. Dave Winfield. Tom Seaver. Cy Young Award winner in 69, 73, and 75. Here is the 1-2 to Winfield. 2-2. said he wasn't a strikeout pitcher. 5 times led the National League in strikeouts. For 10 consecutive years, he had 200 or more strikeouts in a season. But I'm not a strikeout pitcher. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and we go full. 3-2. Just missed inside. $54,032 on hand. Winfield at the plate, 3-2, 2 outs. He represents the tying run. Griffey is down at third. Mattingly will be running on the pitch as we check Griffey and Mattingly. The full count pitch, and Seaver steps off with Mattingly running. A long double could score 2 for the Yankees. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Tom Seaver has pitched out of a jam here at the bottom of the 8th inning. No runs, 2 hits. The Yankees lead 2. We go to the 9th inning with the White Sox leading New York 4-1.
Well, the Yankees will use Neil Allen here in the 9th inning. Allen making his 6th appearance as a Yankee. He's pitched 9 1/3 innings, given up 4 earned runs. His ERA 3.86, struck out 4. No record with the Yankees. Bob Shirley went 2 innings, gave up no runs on 2 hits, struck out 2, and did not walk anybody. And he gives way to Neil Allen here. Allen becomes the 4th pitcher used by the Yankees in this game as the White Sox lead it 4-1. Spencer?
Well, there's going to be a traffic jam leaving Yankee Stadium, and nobody seems to mind because 54,032 are here, and they have stayed through 8, and they're not leaving. They are looking at a history-making moment. Perhaps if Tom Seaver can retire the Yankees in the 9th inning, he will become the 17th pitcher in Major League history to win 300 games. Neil Allen will face Harold Baines, Greg Walker, and Carlton Fisk here in the 9th. Pop foul. And if you plan to go out and get a soda pop or some liquid refreshment, I imagine this is the time people are doing a little scurrying. They want to be back for the bottom half of the 9th inning. Baines with 2 base hits. And the count is 0-1. 0-2, check it. 1-2. Of course, Neil Allen was gone from the New York Mets when you left Shea Stadium. But he put in some good years.
Certainly did.
Don Mattingly makes the play unassisted. Of course, when you were there, when Seaver got in trouble, a little left-hander who believed would come on and save so many ball games.
Tug McGraw, he certainly would. Tug is now retired. He's no longer active in baseball.
When he retired this year, it amazed me when I thought about it. It was almost 20 years Tug McGraw played this game of baseball.
Yes.
Greg Walker fouls the first pitch away. He's 1 for 2 with a couple of walks. He led off the big 4-run 6th inning for the White Sox with a base on balls. Joe Cowley had shut out the White Sox through the first 5. The White Sox with 4 runs on 5 hits in the 6th inning. And that's fouled 0-2.
I want you to know, Spencer, that among those people you were speaking of who will be here and to finish, you can count me because both the planes on which I was booked have long since left.
You should have figured it was the White Sox.
I didn't know. Nobody told me.
0-2. We'll be catching Lindsey on Saturday Night Baseball on the CBS radio network. And you're doing a big college football schedule, aren't you, Lindsey?
1 a week, and that's about as big as we can get to them.
Yeah, you can't play that game much more than once a week. Up 5. 1-2. You'll be working with Paul Horning, right?
Paul Horning. Paul and I have worked together about 10 years in years past, so I'll enjoy that.
Got him swinging at a bad pitch, strike 3. So there are 2 men out here in the 9th inning.
I've been working a good deal of baseball with Johnny Bench, and we've been discussing Tom Seaver and what we think his future is. And Johnny Bench says he thinks he might want to manage or be active in the game somewhere on the field. I talked to Don Drysdale. He doesn't think so. There's the commissioner, Peter Uberoff, in the shirt sleeves there this afternoon. Drysdale said he thinks Seaver wants to be an announcer, and he thinks he wants to move into the broadcast booth because he's had some experience at that already.
And he's done well at it. There's a ball of Fisk.
I think his longevity would be a little better up here than down there.
Foul ball.
How many years have you been in this business, Lindsey?
I've had.
I shouldn't ask you that.
Well, I've had 26 years in the major leagues.
And with the Mets? All of
17 with the Mets. 17 with the Mets.
9 with the Giants?
No, I had 5 with Game of the Week before I ever started with the Mets.
And then you went to San Francisco.
San Francisco. I was out there for 3, and then I did the pay TV for the Cincinnati Reds finally.
And you make your home back in Tennessee now.
Knoxville, Tennessee, yeah.
1-2 to Fisk. Ball 2.
I'm like the California fruit pickers. I go where the work is.
Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, it'll be Pasqua, Hasse, and Randolph scheduled for the Yankees against Tom Seaver. This is hit deep, but foul. And the count's 2-2. And you've always been able to find a crop, haven't you, Mr. Nelson?
Well, there's usually one around if you just look around.
There you see the line score. 4 runs, 13 hits for the White Sox. 1-5-0 for the Yankees. Short right field. Winfield. He has it. The side retired. 1, 2, 3. Pasqua, Hasse, and Randolph stand in the way of Tom Seaver's bid for victory number 300. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It is 4-1 in favor of Chicago. He broke in 1967, won his first game on April the 20th, his 50th in August of 69, his 100th in May of 72, May of 75, 150, number 200, September 15th, 1977, and 250 on May 19th, 1981. Today is August 4th, 1985, perhaps another milestone date for Tom Seaver as he goes to the bottom of the 9th inning with a 4-1 lead over the New York Yankees. He has given up but 5 base hits. The Yankees threaten in the 8th. A couple of hits, but he struck out Winfield. And Pasqua rocks one to right off the wall. So Pasqua leads off the 9th inning with a single off Tom Seaver. Close to a home run.
And here it is again. Ball is up, and Pasqua, with that quick bat that he has, just hits a liner middle of the wall here and bounces right back to Baines, and he holds it first with a single. And once again, Bob James gets up in the White Sox bullpen.
On a day when Tom Seaver shoots for number 300, the new star for the Mets, Dwight Gooden, beat the Cubs by a score of 4-1. And Seaver will pitch to Ron Hasse. Hasse 0 for 3. Walker robbed him of a hit in the 4th inning. Strike 1. Seaver has struck out 6. He is yet to walk a batter. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And you can feel the tension in the air. It's a wonderful kind of tension. It's what the game of baseball is all about. There is Pasqua away from first. Outside ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ron Hassey. Tom Terrific. Ali said he was the greatest. They called this man Terrific. A couple of pretty good nicknames. And there's strike 2. They call Gooden the doctor. This is a doctor at work. He's examining the patient, surveying the situation. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Seaver will have to try it again. Here in the 9th inning as Tom Seaver records strikeout number 7. The White Sox with a 4-1 lead. Willie Randolph will step in. Mike Pagliarulo is on deck. Randolph was hit by that pitch in the 4th inning. Sandwiched in between a ground ball to short and a fly ball to left. Right field, back goes Baines, and Baines with a super catch, taking a single or perhaps a double away from Willie Randolph. Even the great ones need a little help from their friends, and Harold Baines certainly helped Tom Seaver out there.
And let's watch it again. Ball carries well into that right field corner for Randolph. Here's Baines chasing it down. He'll leap here, makes a catch, bounces into the wall, loses his cap. He hit the wall hard, but he made the put out. Another angle. Baines, bang, but held onto the baseball.
Well, when Tom Seaver broke into the big leagues, the gentleman who broadcast his first game and so many of his victories was Lindsey Nelson. With a moment of truth arriving right here, I'm going to give way to Lindsey Nelson for perhaps what might be out number 3 and a milestone victory for Tom Seaver. Lindsey, my pleasure.
Spencer, thank you very much. Mike Perullio is stepping in now to face Tom Seaver. 2 men are out. There's a runner at first. Seaver bidding for the 300th win of his career to become only the 17th man in the history of the game to reach 300. And the pitch misses high and away for a ball. It's 1-0, and there is Nancy Seaver between the children there in the box, the club box of the Chicago White Sox. Seaver this afternoon has struck out 7 and he has walked none. He's behind the hitter now, 1-0. George Thomas Seaver. A little high. He's gone behind now, 2-0. Crowd of more than 54,000 here this afternoon on Phil Rizzuto Day, and to see Tom Seaver make his bid for greatness. They are well aware of everything that's transpiring right now. Tom Terrific is 40 years old. Nancy Lynn Seaver. Pitch is low. He's gone behind 3-0. And to put this man on would bring the tying run to the plate. The White Sox are leading it by a score of 4-1.
And the Yankees have Don Baylor in the on-deck circle.
Don Baylor ready to come on. 2 men are out. Walked him on 4 pitches. That'll bring Baylor up his tying run at the plate. The first walk issued by Seaver this afternoon. Duncan is coming out now, the pitching coach for the conference. 2 men on, 2 men out. Bottom of the 9th inning. So there's a meeting of the board once again. Carlton Fisk, the catcher out there. Seaver is being questioned about his stamina, about how he feels. You check with Fisk. Duncan will check with Fisk. then make the decision of whether he will stay in or come out. Of course he wants to stay in. And he stays in the ball game.
It's a big day here. We have our cameras here. Those were cameras from other video operations throughout the United States. This crowd is on its feet to an extent, as Don Baylor will step in to pinch hit for Bobby Meacham. A single by Pascal. Randolph was robbed by Bain for the second out, and then a walk to Pagliarulo, and there is former President Richard Nixon on his feet in the Yankee owner's box.
Seaver is ready to work now to Don Baylor, and it's a high fly ball. It should be playable. Nichols is moving over. Nichols is there. The ball game is over. Seaver has won 300. He has become the 17th man in the history of baseball to win 300 games. Seaver will turn it loose now. A 40-year-old terrific Tom Seaver. Look at the emotion spilling out all over. There's his family. And if you could hear him right now, his voice is up in such a high key, only the dogs can understand it.
Well, he's a 40-year-old man, but this is a game for kids. And that kid is a very, very happy individual. He has done what only 16 others have accomplished, and this crowd is still on its feet with cheers for Tom Seaver.
There he is. That's Nancy. That's his wife, Nancy Lynn. They were married in Jacksonville, Florida, the first year that he signed for professional baseball with the Mets. That's his daughter. That's his eldest daughter.
They're chanting Seaver, Seaver,
Seaver, they're chanting, and with his father, he gives a great deal of credit to his father for teaching him concentration, dedication, work. A happy young man from Fresno, California. He began with the Mets in April of 1967 with his first victory. And here at the sports shrine of Yankee Stadium in New York, he has made it 300.
Well, an exciting afternoon here at the stadium. Phil Rizzuto Day, our broadcasting partner, was honored. His plaque will go out into the monument section of center field. His number's been retired. The White Sox, though, come from behind with 4 runs in the 6th inning. And Tom Seaver records victory number 300. An exciting moment, Bill White.
Exciting moment for Tom and for his family. I have just a little tinge of sadness because this really is Phil Rizzuto's day.
Yeah.
I for some reason, wish that the things had ended a little bit differently. Because the long association I've had with Phil, the long association Phil has had with New York and with this stadium and with the fans around here. But Seaver went out and pitched one heck of a ball game, and he won his 300.
They could have pitched him tomorrow night. Lindsey Nelson, I want to thank you very much for being with us and for calling that final out.
Spencer, I want to thank you. I want to thank Bill. I want to thank Scooter. And I want to thank WPIX for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Well, Tom Seaver records victory number 300 of his career. And there are going to be many more for the right-hander. There'll be some more for the right-hander.
I think it gets to a point whether how long you want to go out and do it and sacrifice being away from your family. Once you get into your 40s, sometimes your priorities change. And, of course, he has gotten past one milestone. And Tom might say that I want to do something else with my life. I think all ball players get to that period.
Well, he has a varied interest. He's interested in doing many, many things, and he might at any time decide that he wants to pursue some of them right now. Who knows?
Well, right now, he is looking to pursue career victory number 301. He struck out 7. He walked 1, gave up 6 hits, had rough sledding in the 8th and 9th inning. In the 8th, with runners at 1st and 3rd and 2 outs, he struck out Dave Winfield on a 3-2 pitch. In the 9th, Pasqua singled. He struck out Hasse. Randolph hit deep to right. Harold Baines robbed Randolph with a running catch that he grabbed over his shoulder and banged into the wall. Here is Seaver one more time, coming out of the dugout to receive the cheers of his hometown fans, because Tom Seaver may be wearing that White Sox gray, but he has come home to win number 300.
A curtain call. Bill Necro, who may himself be reaching 300 very soon.
He patted Phil on the stomach. Hey, you get a little chubby there, old man.
Well, Phil's got 6 years on him. 295 for Necro. And Tom Seaver. An exciting day for all of us here. Exciting, as Bill said, for the Scooters. We're happy for Phil Rizzuto. His number retired, his plaque going out in the center field. And we're going to go downstairs right now. The White Sox broadcaster, Don Drysdale, is going to talk to Tom Seaver. So let's head downstairs right now to Don Drysdale.
Tommy, I know this has to be maybe the biggest day of your life. Has it ever been anything more gratifying?
I don't think so, Don. I mean, I try to control my emotions as best I can, all the way really up to 299. I thought I did an excellent job, but today was like my first day in the big leagues. You know, like pitching opening day, my rookie year. But I knew everything else that went with it, too, and I knew I wasn't a rookie, but I had those kinds of feelings. I had a stomach ache and all that stuff, and I said, good, now let's get this over with in one try, you know, and get it out of the way and go on to 301. And I'm just, you know, herald everybody. I mean, you got to compliment everybody that was out there, and that's why the ball go up in the air, and Baylor's ball, and I said, if it comes down, I got a chance.
You know, I talked to you prior to the game. You felt at that time it looked like cool, calm, and collected, but all of a sudden I said that it's going out there to start warming up when things start to feel a little bit.
Well, I actually, when I start to warm up, I feel better. I can get some physical energy going. I get nervous before the game, and I always do. And when I start warming up, it goes, so it didn't go away today. I went down there, my stomach still hurt. I had a headache, and I go, what is going on? This is supposed to be, and I'm talking myself into this being another day, but, you know, deep down in your heart and the bottom of your stomach, you know it's not another day. And it was being here in New York in front of the New York fans, and it's just, you know, if I'd lost, it would have been a lousy day. Didn't lose, we won, and it was a great day.
Tommy, when you went out there this afternoon, was there a key inning, a key pitch that was the ball game for you?
Well, I think you don't really know. Late in the game, getting Winfield out on the strikeout, that's a big out. And my objective was to cure. I really had 3 objectives. Keep Henderson off the base, keep Winfield in the park, and keep Mattingly in the park. You know, this is a ballpark for home runs down the lines. Winfield here, it's only, 312. You're safe in left center or whatever, but I try to keep those 3 guys in the ballpark. And those were really my main objectives. And I want to throw low strikes, and I want to change speeds. And those are things I talked to myself about when I drove in today. And for the most part, I executed. I got a little tired at the end. But I had a couple of guys out there kicking me in the rear end to get me going. Ozzie was doing it, and Pudge was doing it, and Dunk was there. He says, this is the one you've been waiting for. You know, he didn't want to take me out, and I was pretty tired, but I mean, if you can't get up for that out in your career, you're never going to get up for one.
It appeared that when you got the 2 outs in the 9th inning, the first couple of pitches that you threw, Carlton Fisk had to settle you down just a little bit.
I started rushing, you're right. And I was jumpy, and I didn't sit back and drive off my back leg. I just didn't take my time, flying open, and I was really pretty good in the 8th inning, but again, still nervous in the 9th inning, and just stay back and throw your normal pitch. And we know Baylor's fastball hitter inside, but I felt if I get some movement on the ball, I had a chance. And the ball moved at the hitting zone, and he popped it up.
We talked about the start of the ball game. It was supposed to be a 2:35 start. Right. We looked up 2:54 in the first. You were not out there yet. Did that have any effect?
Well, no, I've been through that before. I've been through the circumstances of parades, and you get pushed back 15 minutes. So I sat out in the bullpen a while, and I got up and I threw a while, and you know, being a warm day, then it was really no problem. I can sit around for as much as probably 30 minutes and not have it affect me.
We've talked about crowds, and they had 54,000 plus here this afternoon. When were you conscious of the crowd, if at all?
When I was driving down the Major Deegan Expressway and the traffic was backed up all the way to the George Washington Bridge, I said, oh my, and it was 11:15 or something. I said, well, I think we're going to have a full house today. But some of them here have seen me pitch before, so I figured some of them were on my side.
What'd you say to Nancy?
I said, piece of cake, wasn't it?
What about your dad?
Oh, I just gave him a big hug, and he said, nice going. I saw him after I struck out Winfield. He was over there waving his hat, and my father-in-law, Dean McIntyre, he had tears in his eyes, and my good friend Matt Marola, I told him it was a piece of cake. It's kind of a saying that we've had all these years, and it's a great feeling, Don.
A lot of the people wonder, how long will Tom Seaver go?
Well, we'll have a meeting at the end of this year with, you know, I call it a team meeting, my wife and two girls, and we'll sit down and we'll talk about it. And I'm 90% sure that I'll pitch next year, but I've got to get it by the chairman of the board over there to see if I can.
Well, you can hear the sound in the background because it's going over the PA announcer right now. But I think right here, as we talked about the stuff that you've had all year, this is as good as stuff you've had in the last 4 or 5 outings. It looked like you had a pretty good fastball.
It wasn't really a day that I could feel my stuff out there. I was off the ground, nervous and whatever. The ball sometimes felt like a shot put, other times it felt like a feather. But when you would jam Winfield and I jammed Randolph when I was behind in the count, then I knew that the ball was good. I knew the ball had good movement and I had good stuff. And Pudge came out and said, you're throwing fine. You're throwing real good. So, you know, just keep her going.
A man right behind you.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
We have a couple of other gentlemen here. Eddie Einhorn, the president of the Chicago White Sox, the chairman of the board, Jerry Reinsdorf.
Hi, Jerry. How are you?
Hey, good man. Nice
We just want to congratulate you. It's been a great thrill for us to just have you with us for 2 years, and this was a culmination, and we hope there's a lot more.
Hopefully in 5 more days it'll be 301. What do you say?
I love it.
We hope so,
I love
right?
it. Friday night, 301.
I hope so.
But I always remember that night in the hotel room in Chicago when we knocked on your door and told you were a member of the White Sox, and you almost threw us out of the room. Not only that, you asked us to show our identification.
I didn't know they were.
Well, there's no identification needed here this afternoon. You've seen history in the making. Tom Seaver wins victory number 300.
Thanks, Donald.
Okay, and I think Tom Seaver kind of summed it up when he said, some of the folks here have seen me pitch. They certainly have, and they've certainly loved the man who wears number 41, because he's on the road, Lindsey Nelson, but he came home to win number 300.
He came home and he finally said there to Don Drysdale in that final interview all the things that we knew. This was a big day for him. It was an emotional day.